Hello and welcome to an episode of DCP Plus Side Quest.
The current episode.
The most recent episode until next week. The one where Myelin breaks stuff, apparently.
More stuff, yeah.
My computer exploded. I've been banging on
Tell us
about
the
how
whole
my
story.
Myelin, what did
My
you do to
20
that poor
Sorry.
computer? Like, why can't you just treat it well?
it's more like what I didn't do to it, as in I did not clean it for probably
Oh, no.
6 years. Wait, quite a while. I have literally been saying to myself, I really need to clean this PC. Like I cleaned my stream PC recently, and I was like, the game PC has just been chugging along, doing so well because it's old hardware and it's actually been performing very well. And every time we play a game and it's like unoptimized Unreal Engine 5, everyone's like, you know what, man, your 2080 Ti is doing pretty good. I'm like, yeah, it is. It's still pretty good. And then I actually had played a little bit of games over the weekend. A game we'll talk about a game called Mega Bonk. And it was chugging. And this game's made by one guy. I was like, oh, he must have just done an update. Like, it must be the game. Like, you know, it's kind of not doing very well.
Were you streaming this, or this was on your own time?
No, it's just when Leah was having a nap, I was just playing some games. And then Watts, Fran and I, we had a sponsorship for a game which we can talk about later called Out of Time. And I booted up the sponsorship and I was like, uh-oh. It was like a PowerPoint presentation. And I was like,
yeah, that's when we found out.
And this is like the first time I'm like, I have never canceled a sponsorship in like 10 years. I'm like, oh my God. I don't think I can't stream this game because it looks like it's the game's fault. Like it looks like it looks
not
I'm doing
you want.
promotion right now. I'm doing anti-promotion.
Mylin's like literally drawing frames on paper.
Look at these graphics.
Look how good it is.
Yeah. And then Chad's like, check your CPU temperature, and it was sitting on 100 degrees Celsius at idling, like which was apparently pretty high.
Toasty.
And I was panicking when it was at like 60 idling, and then I realized it was my antivirus doing it anyway. So I'm like, oh God, because it's supposed to. Mine sits at like 37 when it's idling.
Yeah.
So 100 is. I mean, hitting 100 when you're gaming is.
Yeah,
so I had left my computer on like over the weekend, not even playing it, but not knowing the CPU was literally just screaming for help.
Do you have water cooling or do you have air cooling on your?
So I opened it up. 2 of the 3 front fans were clogged and no longer working. Like
they weren't even spinning.
They weren't even spinning. So only one of the front fans was spinning. The
33%.
The radiator. So I had, what's it called? The all-in-one AIO.
Yeah,
was from 2017, and we kind of thought, you know what? I think that's the thing that's cooked really. Even though the fans were working, it was like, well, one of the fans was working, and the radiator fans were working, but yeah, well, like I think that's probably cocked it. And we
the liquid was probably clogged.
What's that?
I was saying, yeah, like the liquid itself was probably actually the pump was dead, probably.
Yeah, I think the pump was
more
dead,
than
basically.
everything.
Yeah,
so then it turned. Then I had to cancel the sponsorship, and then it was because I got
while we were on stream, by the way. And he was checking in with Watts and I, who were doing the sponsorship, and we're like just trying to have fun and enjoy, and like, you know, be pros.
And we had joined chats at that point, and his whole chat is like, "The fans are dying! Get someone put the flames out! What's going on?" It was just like people panicking about.
And I'm just like, "So, Watts, what level do you want to do? What's this avatar stuff?"
Everyone's like, "Have you checked this? Bring up this. Check this. Bring that. You can run a stress test on this. Have you checked open the case? Get a fan. Get some ice."
And the best part too is because as Myelin and anyone experiences on the internet anyway, but especially on Twitch. Like as soon as you have a PC problem, everybody they want to.
Everybody's an expert.
Everybody goes into Chat GPT mode and is like, no, it's not that. Okay.
Yeah. So your mother who can't run an iPhone is like calling you up and saying, "Hey, did you check?"
But of course, turning it off. I wanted to do that immediately because I'm that type of annoying person for sure. And I was like, oh God, I got to hold back. I'm in the middle of a sponsored stream.
Yeah. But I think we like safely concluded like this was not something I could troubleshoot
Yeah.
Live.
and fix. So I had to cancel the sponsorship, which they were great about. They were very nice about it.
They
and
were
we reorganized
excellent.
it, so that was good. And then Watts kindly agreed to jump in and help me with my sponsorship later in this in the
Yeah,
week.
she played again with you. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
And then the stream became like, because I have two PCs, the stream PC is still working. So I ripped out the game PC, put it right here, and then had chat crowdsource how to take it apart, got all the bits off, cleaned the CPU, got the CPU out, and then next day I went to the shop and we did like a fixing PC stream. And
How what parts did you have to replace? Like what was broken?
so I just got a new CPU cooler and I just replaced the two fans at the front, and now we're sitting at a cool 30 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
What kind of
so
cooler
it was
did you
just it was just the cooling.
The thing was
But the hardware itself was fine.
Yeah,
Because
thankfully.
your case,
thankfully.
your case is like you can't see inside, like it's
Oh, the
all
case-
solid color.
The case is so bad. Like
Yeah.
it is.
You
haven't cleaned it.
solid.
You just replaced the parts,
Well-
but you haven't cleaned it.
No, I did clean it. We did cleaning part two.
Just make sure.
I took it outside. I set up the camera
Yeah.
on the window outside. And like blew out all the dust. Like got everything off.
That's
Wait,
why
so-
I'm an out of sight, out of mind kind of guy. So that's why I specifically have a clear case. 'Cause it's like now I can physically see if it's getting dirty, if I need to blow it out,
Yeah.
if anything stops working. Yeah.
I have both. I have
the
like a clear
ventilation
case
is
that you can
case was
see
bad.
everything inside of, but then I also the streaming PC is completely black and it's built for silence, right? It's like muffled, right?
Yeah.
Like-
Uh-huh.
Like you don't look in that thing because you don't want to know. Because it's just
Right.
who knows.
I
when the
leave
last
my
time I
stream
cleaned that
PC
is.
alone. I mean, I can see
Yeah.
what's going on. Like it is clear, but like I generally don't touch this thing.
Yeah,
The
there's no
gaming PC,
glass on
I
my
really
stream
take care of.
PC.
It is
Glass
it's a scary reality. Honestly, I don't, as much as I run these same issues, like you're like, I'm gonna start stress testing like every 30 or 3 months or whatever. And then you just don't do it, like you're saying, out of sight, out of mind. So
I mean,
Yeah.
streaming is a stress test.
yeah, but you're not looking at the data.
It is.
You're
it is a
looking at
mirror.
chat.
I look at my gaming PC like temps and everything and usage and everything a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'm,
funny.
like,
I had an
paranoid.
overlay that I started using because my cooler died that I did that. But then that program, which is from Lon Lee, started causing a Windows like problem. It was
Oh, God.
beeping at me and all. And then I I had to uninstall it, so now I'm not looking at it anymore. But
Yep.
yeah, they do have stuff like overlays you can have up that you know, you
Yeah,
can also
for
get
sure.
those sweet motherboards. They're always like the in 800-hour ones and above that have like you can have the temperature displays and some
but
of
I
the
don't wanna
coolers
look
do that too.
At my PC when I'm gaming, I want
I
to look
know.
at the monitor.
Yeah, but can you tell us, man, what is your CPU and the cooler you got? I mean, I just have to know since we made it this far.
The CPU is still the i9 10900K. And
Oh, right.
The cooler is. Oh,
Oh, you know,
He's gonna get the
He's
box.
getting the box.
you might have the
Yeah.
box. Was it the box? And I only asked because, like, I'm telling you,
and
Oh, so you went with an air cooler. Yeah,
Yeah, I went for the air cooler because
who makes
yeah.
that?
Noctua.
Noctua.
Oh, it's
Noctua.
Noctua. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So you went
those
air
are
cooler.
great.
The-
Those run forever.
The tan and the brown. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if
the
it's looked
fans
good.
are ultra quiet. Like they're unbelievable coolers.
Nice.
Yeah. I've got that in my stream PC and I've been happy with it. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna go with that. And it's been handling it completely fine.
Yeah,
I've
all
got a
those
quick hit.
AIOs
You
have
can
like
actually-
they're gonna die eventually. Like they are going to
my-
die, and they die in the most catastrophic ways. They just like stop cooling. Right? It's
Oh,
either
my
the
one's
pump
gonna quit.
dies, or like bubbles. So many bubbles form that.
Can you see the dust going
Oh
off?
my
Gross.
god!
It's-
I saw you.
Oh
pull
my
that
God.
thing out, and it was a dust. It was a dust cloud.
Dude, I'm just waiting for a rat to like scamper out of there.
Oh,
What is going on at your house,
Play it
man?
again. Redo it. Redo it. We need to see it again. Replay
Did you
it.
have a
By the way-
sandstorm come through?
Slow mo.
Look
at
at the
this.
dust.
Look at it. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god!
By the way, to
you
fully
should probably be
gross
wearing a
you out-
mask.
That's
Yes.
what I was just saying the same thing.
But to fully gross you out, not only is that probably like dust and a bunch of like dust mites and who knows,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
a
that's good.
ton of Mylin's dead skin has been
Oh,
sucked into this thing.
It's
can
on the
probably-
floor. It's like his feet skin too.
You could create a clone. Oh, dude, that's a great like only feet skin /
Yeah.
feet skin. Mylin's
Yeah, you should
feet
bag
skin.
it up and sell it. Mylin's feet skin.
Y'all
Yeah,
can
You can mix
stop.
this-
I'm probably gonna refund. I could have funded a whole new PC off that.
Yeah, you can mix it with like water, you know, and get a little like feet skin water.
Like
You
a
got
little
whole,
feet
like,
skin
clone.
energy drink.
Yeah, the filter was crazy.
Are we gonna
Mylin's
talk
feet-
about video games soon?
Wait, what? I got
100%
one
natural
tagline.
feet skin energy drink.
One tagline for it: Mylin's feet skin energy drink. It'll keep you running. All right.
Love it.
So it was a very stressful start to the week, and then to chat's credit, they talked me through. Like I just went with, you know, sometimes there's different opinions, but to be honest, there was often a consensus of which thing I should plug in, which thing I should rip out, like changing all the cables and stuff. And everyone was very careful on like be careful with the CPU and clean the CPU. And then I dropped my camera on the CPU a couple times, but it was fine. Didn't bend any pins. And we're good.
As long as you don't
That's
have
awesome.
power to a PC when you're working on it, you're probably not gonna fuck anything up these days. Like,
Yeah,
it's
other
pretty-
than like
pretty user friendly to work on a PC
bending
now.
and breaking something, which is hard to do, it's not as bad as you think. It's just stressful that if you
Some of
don't
the
do it often, you're like,
pins- some of the fan pins were really
Yeah.
hard to get out. Like the CPU fan pin was like super hard to get out. But
It's just because
it was just annoying because you have to take this. The case is so small. I had to take out the graphics card, and the graphics card only just fits anyway. So it's like you gotta like
Right.
maneuver it out to get that thing
Yeah.
out anyway. You know, it
fun.
was good experience. Bad experience. Bad experience make good experience.
Yeah, bad, but actually, I like as much as it's painful to tear down your PC and stuff. I always enjoy doing that stuff. It's just when I'm doing it, I wish I had another PC up and running. That I'm like, well, I don't want to finish this today, but you have to. You're just in it for like 6 hours as opposed to like doing it a couple hours a day.
It's like doing open heart surgery. Like eventually you gotta
You can't
wrap this.
believe it.
You gotta wrap it up, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
There's
You're
no
like,
going on.
yeah. The thing
Good
I
point.
can't stand is when you're all done with the hardware and you got to like start installing all your old software back on and like reconfiguring everything, especially
And you-
OBS. Like if you're
Yes.
setting up a new
Bruh.
OBS and like
Oh,
putting all
yeah.
your scenes together and everything.
Dude, and then you do it, and as soon as you like get in like a muscle memory, you're like, okay, and then I'm gonna, oh dang it, I didn't even install. You're like, you always forget something.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah,
oh, I didn't
yeah.
install that. You're like, wait, where's
The-
my save files for that? Oh my god, you know.
Yeah.
The part of the fix I was most looking forward to is a discussion around the thermal paste and
Yeah.
what strategies, because that is
Oh,
something there
the-
is zero consensus on.
No, there's
Everyone
not.
has a huge opinion on what should be done.
You just draw 69, 420, and it
Mhm.
works perfectly.
Nailed it.
every
That
time.
is actually the way to go.
It works every time.
Spread it on with your feet.
100% of the time, 60% of the time.
If you use your big toe, it's the perfect size for
Yeah.
the CPU.
It's like a
Thermal
one-to-one
sink,
relationship.
heat sink.
It's like one swipe with the big toe right across.
That's great content, dude. You got a whole plan here.
So
you go.
what was the
We're
game you guys
running.
were playing? The game you guys were sponsored to play?
It's called
Out of time.
Out of Time. What kind of game is that?
It's like Vampire Survivors mixed with, I don't know, the loot is kind of you say,
Diablo.
like a lot of gears, yeah,
It's a
Destiny,
little
or Diablo,
Diablo-y. Yeah.
Diablo-y, yeah.
And
I've
there's
seen
like,
make like gear
there's
sets
like
and stuff.
gears
Class of
that
action
there's
RPG.
like the gear sets kind of lean to a class. So you start off with like a basic healer, DPS, and tank, and then you can start getting stuff for like paladin, druid, and the more like detailed, advanced classes. And you do these runs and you get loot from it, and you can start making these builds, which is really cool.
Oh, okay. It's got an
But is
Yeah,
it
interesting
like
graphical
open
style,
world or is
doesn't
it levels or?
Yeah, so the whole like out of time thing is you go through like multiple dimensions. So you
Fractured
can have like a
biomes.
knight with an AK. So there's like, dragon themed ones, like medieval time periods, and there's like futuristic time periods. So you get this like real mix of
Interesting.
different aesthetics as you go through. And yeah, you pick your stage. There's a big co-op aspect of it. So
Mhm. 4-player.
if you think like an auto battler, right? Because the game, like, you have an auto attack that attacks for you, but you also have like move sets that's linked to
Abilities
your
on top.
gear. So like your chest piece might have a certain move on it. Like I had one that was like a jetpack with rockets on it. So you still have to, press Q, press E, press whatever, right click, whatever, to like wipe out mobs. But there's also a co-op aspect too, where when you're staying next to your allies, you get buffs from them as well. And then there's a rogue-like aspect on top of it, like you would see in like Vampire Survivors, where you level up and you get perks to pick from, and that's going to modify your gear or modify your abilities.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a $25 game. It's only on the Epic Game Store. Part of that story, by the way, is that if you didn't know, Manticore Games, because I actually had worked on a project when I was doing more consulting stuff between leaving IGN and doing full-time content, but Manticore, I don't know if they still have it, but they started to create this in-between engine, the Manticore engine, that anybody can like pick up and use. It's way easier. Like, I don't know how that factored into making this game, but in other words, right, they've created engines that was more like user-friendly, trying to create a layer between Unreal Engine and, like a common user. So I think they got a lot of that built and the experience, and that, like, now they're making games. And so it's kind of, you'll see a bit of that in maybe the way it looks. It does have like a Fortnite vibrance, kind of classic, call it epic look to it. But, but yeah, actually I was surprised given all that, meaning I was surprised. I was like, you know what? Easy to get into. It went smoothly for us. It's only on Epic right now, but it is supposed to come to Steam and I think maybe consoles later. But yeah, it was easy and simple to get into. And then kind of like Watts, I think, was saying, like, you get so many pieces of gear that you can just mix and match. It's very playful of like, have a gun, but then you have like these like, spectral ghosts that charge forward with spears and freeze your enemy. You can just mix and match so many things. And like, that kind of is their selling point, which is like, go nuts. And the idea is you start on like normal mode and then hard mode. And then you get into like, I don't know what the harder wave difficulties are, but all these different biomes you unlock. Eventually you're trying to get up to these top levels and get the best gear and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was all right.
Yeah. I think it was a solid game. I think it's at a good price point too. I think Epic Games is probably going to hurt its visibility a fair bit. To just get out there. I also think, like Mega Bonk is a similar game. Actually, probably more simplistic, but it's kind of gone viral and it's probably stealing a bit of the spotlight at the moment. I think it has really good like points of difference too. Like I think adding the co-op, I think having to actually press buttons, unlike like the Vampire Survivors and Mega Bonk, where all your abilities are all auto attacks and you just kind of run. Like actually having to, like a PoE or a Diablo, like aim, press a button, aim your abilities. I think has, adds another layer to it. And then the loot too, like to make gear sets and put your loot together, I think is, a good point of difference.
And is Mega Bonk just single player, you said?
Mega Bonk's just single player. It's all auto attacks. I've been playing it a hell of a lot. It is
it's very Vampire
addictive.
Survivors 3D look.
It's basically Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
It's
Even the
Vampire
graphics
Survivors
look
with Risk of Rain, if you've played Risk of Rain.
Oh.
Yeah.
Even the style of the items is very Risk of Rain. There's even items in it that look like Risk of Rain, and the creators even said its inspiration was Vampire Survivors and Risk of Rain. One dude made it, and Shroud and some of the top streamers are streaming it, not being paid to stream it, just because they like enjoy it. 20,000 people watching.
It's just how
I
it
think
goes
the
sometimes.
thing that I really liked about Out of Time is the class stuff. Like I picked a healer, and then I got a staff for a druid, and it has like some healing stuff with it, so I could use it with the healing armor that I have. But now I've got all new abilities compared to what I was using before. So I really do like that. It feels exciting when you get new loot, or especially if it's a new class associated with it, because you're like, oh, this is a whole like new play style I had no idea about. So I think that difference makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't play that much, and again, it was a sponsorship, so I kind of went in with that lens, and I didn't just like sit down like I normally would, obviously, but I was surprised. I was like, yeah, it's easy to get into, but one thing I would say is that for me it'd be more like Out of Time. For me, it was more like I'm not like looking to find this new special game and it has that appeal. It more was like, oh, if I was looking to play something like this. In other words, like you have this free time and desire. I think it fits with that, and meaning it maybe is a little less so of like, oh, you really should check this game out, at least for me personally. But maybe that's part because I don't play a lot of games like this, to be fair.
I think my probably prediction for this game is I think this will be a good run for Epic Games. I think they'll build, you know, a small to medium sized community that's like pretty niche on Epic Games of people that I think are really going to enjoy it. Like the lobbies that I jumped into, people were packed. People were typing into the text chat saying like, need another person, need a healer for like hard run on, you know, this map.
Yeah.
Looking to farm this, that, and the other. So, like, I think it will find
little
its
community.
but I don't think it's going to go like viral.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's because the game's bad. I just think probably marketing and
so many
Steam
games.
and console. I think people are asking console doesn't have like console yet. Doesn't have controller support. It's not on Steam. So I think if they could like really perfect the game on Epic and then kind of have like a second launch when it comes to Steam, when it comes to console, and make sure everything's even better, I think maybe you'll see it pop up in people's feeds.
You know, it almost reminds me of, what was that Monster Hunter like game way back that launched on Epic?
Dauntless. Yeah.
It almost reminds me a little of Dauntless, where I was like, oh, you know, I was always thinking of checking out a game like this, but it looks like colorful and like almost Fortnite-y epic. And so that first reaction was like, oh, I don't know. And then I tried it. I was like, oh, actually, it's kind of fun, you know? And I think it's similar in those ways. I actually thought when Dauntless first launched, I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. It was neat. So maybe there's something there.
Can't talk about Mega Bonk. I don't need anything else to say about Mega Bonk, but have you guys played Mega Bonk? Are you in the Mega Bonk?
No,
addiction?
I think this is the first time I'm hearing about it, and based on my love for my love-hate relationship with the Vampire Survivors, I think I ought to stay away from this game.
Honestly, this is such a one more type of game, and you realize you've been sitting there for 7 hours. Its whole premise is obviously the Vampire Survivors, but like for things to get ridiculous, like if you spec into something, you'll make a banana as big as the screen that will be like throwing out and hitting enemies and coming back. Like it's all about doing ridiculous amounts of damage, or you know, basically trying to make your PC blow up, which I didn't need any help doing.
Right.
Made by a single person. It's been really, really interesting, and it has a leaderboard, a global leaderboard, which I think gives you that chase.
Oh,
and
sure.
like the developer was like, no one's gonna beat my top kills, which was 10,000. And like the leaderboard now is at like 1.2 million or something like that.
Oh my
Holy
God.
cow.
So like
that's a big difference.
Of course, people like min-maxing to get like the perfect run, the perfect RNG, because it always all randomized. Like you like Risk of Rain. I don't know how Vampire Survivors work, but there is like a overall progression that you get. So you only start off with like one weapon and a couple of tomes, which are like modifiers. So you get like attack speed tome, and that will level up your attack speed constantly and just keep scaling basically. Or you get like a projectile tome, which will make you throw more projectiles, whatever weapon you're using. And then as you like play the game more, you unlock up to 4 weapons, up to 4 tomes. I think there's a whole bunch of characters, maybe 25, 30 characters you unlock by doing challenges. And then you unlock things to limit randomness. So you'll get things like, when you level up and you get 3 random perks to pick from, you'll be able to like banish perks or skip them or refresh them. So you've got all of that. And then when you get to the kind of end game, you've got like an idea of, I want to have these 4 weapons with these 4 tomes, and you progress through the stage to try to get to the end boss. And once you beat the end boss, I think it just goes for infinite time. The enemies just keep coming and they just keep scaling, and you see how far you can go. And that's how you get like 1.2 million enemies killed, basically.
Does it run on Steam Deck?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I saw an ad for it on perfect game for something like Steam Deck.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just added it to my wish list. I'll be downloading it probably tonight.
It's like
You're like, I shouldn't
$10.
play this. I downloaded it.
Yeah.
I'm playing it tonight.
I gotta go.
Unhealthy.
I streamed it to my the app on your phone, plugged in the fucking Xbox controller, and I was like, I'm just gonna play a little bit of this on the couch. It's dangerous. Remember one dude did really well with that marketing advertising, apparently made it in a year as well, which is insane.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Wow.
They did come out with a version of Vampire Survivors for the phone, which I had to delete off my phone. because it
Oh
was
yeah,
like
you might be
too
in trouble
addictive.
with this one too.
Yeah.
You might be in trouble with this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what people found with this. Like Vampire Survivors is addictive, and then you just add the third person element where you can move, so you can like slide and bunny hop and like maintain momentum. So there's a movement aspect to it, and when you put that with the Vampire Survivor like crack, it's pretty nutty.
Yeah. This looks fun.
I can see Briar's brain just going,
Yeah.
firing up those dopamine receptors.
Just
There's
Go
a
back to
certain
Dead
point
Space.
you get to in Vampire Survivors where you no longer have to move. Like your weapons are so powerful that nothing can get to you anymore. And I find that to be the most satisfying thing in video games.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna. We're
When
not
you
gonna see
reach-
you next week. We're not
Oh,
gonna
God.
see you next week. Holy.
I need you to
one.
not. Did you play any more Dead Space, Briar? Because like, don't touch this if you have.
I did play a little bit more Dead
Oh, yeah.
Space. I am not far enough in to really talk about it. I've got distracted by
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm worried about.
yeah. But I do like that game so far, but I'm probably
Cool.
only like 6 hours in.
Yeah. No, I'm totally messing. But I'm like, I know. Yeah, it's like there's so many good games. Yeah, Yotei.
So
We're
many
gonna talk
good.
about. I guess
Yeah.
you played, but it's like, man. Next thing you know, meaning you drop these games that were actually good. It's one of the modern
Yeah.
gaming issues
That's
we
just-
all have. with
Yeah, that's
access
just
to this
modern
stuff.
gaming,
right.
It's like there's
Yeah,
nothing
but
wrong with the
it's-
game. I just moved on, you know?
Right, but yeah, as I just think about and talk about a lot. It's like the impact is that we're not getting a Dead Space 2 remake,
Yeah.
currently, and so like it is what it is. I love that genre, but that applies to everything though, and so I don't know. I mean, maybe there's an argument to be made where it's like, well, if he bought it, what's the difference in how much he plays it? I don't know.
That's a good point.
On that front, I guess you did buy it, so I got to give you major credit for supporting there, but
It was heavily discounted though.
yeah, yeah, I bet it was like one of those $5.99 deals, right?
I got a funny story about Ghost of Yotei. Is I pre-ordered a copy from Best Buy. I'll be
Okay.
honest, I was a little late pre-ordering my copy. Like I didn't think about it until last night, and I was like, I like to do the thing where you just pull up to Best Buy, they bring it
Yeah,
out to your
they-
car,
Mhm.
and you continue
Sure.
to eat your Egg McMuffin while you drive back home.
Yeah.
So I do that last night. I ordered it last night. I wake up this morning. Best Buy opens at 10, so I'm kind of taking my time. I got to go to the golf place to get some golf balls because I'm golfing this weekend. And I'm like, it's noon. I'm like, I still haven't heard from Best Buy. What is going on here? So I just show up at Best Buy. They're like, oh, it's not here yet. The truck's not here. It's on the truck. The truck's not
Oh.
here. I'm like,
Okay.
well, isn't it supposed to be here for
launch
day? Like, I don't want to start giving Best Buy employees a hard time because
No, but that's
You know what I
strange.
mean?
Like,
But it's
why
like-
is it coming today and not like
Yeah.
days ago?
So I'm like, well, what do I do? Should I cancel my order or should I go to a different store? Like a different Best Buy? Because there's Best Buys all over the place around here.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
That's what I
fuck
would
it.
have done.
I'm just going to go to GameStop
Yeah.
and cancel the order. So I didn't get to start playing until like 1 o'clock because then once you get it home, it's like it takes an hour to
Patch
get it
update.
installed. Yeah. Yeah.
And you gotta
It's,
eat
it's almost
lunch.
100 gig, that thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
it's a big
patch is
boy.
a full still, huh?
Well, I don't know. I don't have the physical. I downloaded the game.
Probably.
Yeah. It took
but
me
well,
an hour.
do you know if in other words, Watts was like, oh, it's about 100 gigs. But I'm like, the
Yeah.
way that consoles work in PlayStation, usually when you got a patch, it's always was like it's a full 100 gig download, even though it's just a patch.
I think it was
didn't
an
know if
8
it's
gig
still like that.
download.
Oh, okay. So maybe not as much.
Yeah, I don't know how much it copies off the disc, how much it downloads during the first install, though. Like, I don't think it really
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
that
yeah,
clear
yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
Either way.
But the patch, like, there was a day one patch that was, I think, I don't know. I don't remember. Don't listen
Gotcha.
to me. What do I know?
No, I don't. Yeah, I opened up a can of worms on that, but I mean, my hope is that somehow PlayStation and others are moving away because I always remembered that when I was transferring, I think, into PlayStation 5 when it first came out. I was like, why am I downloading this whole game? You just patched like a basic patch, and it's like, I guess that's how the ecosystem works. I was like, this is awful. You know?
And then you have
Whereas-
to have enough space on your hard drive for 2 full copies of the game because it has to like
Oh,
it
God, I didn't
writes
think of that.
it because like I had this issue a lot with
Maybe that.
Destiny on PlayStation where it was like every time we had a little patch on Destiny, it had to reinstall the game from the ground up before it would delete your older install.
Luckily, the PlayStation
Right.
Network was super fast, so it took no time at all to
That's right, lightning quick. This I can still hear KJ Hovey in my ear, who's on PC waiting for me. It's like, come on.
So how
Once
much
I got
of
it
Yotei
installed,
did you play
though,
then?
what's that?
How much of Yotei have you played then?
I
Once
just
it was
stopped
installed.
playing before the podcast, so I got 6 or 7 hours in.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah,
I'm at
This is
about
good.
6. Yep.
yeah.
Hmm.
It looks
I gotta
awesome.
say,
First of
I
all,
was gonna say, just the stills I've seen and just like
Yeah.
the bits and pieces of the environment, I'm like, this is beautiful.
yeah, I'm playing on the PlayStation Pro, the professional, and
Is that what
it's-
Pro
it
stands
runs
for?
at 60 FPS with ray tracing on, and it looks really good. I mean, there's a couple of times where I've been like, this texture on this mountain kind of sucks, but
Uh-huh.
like 99% of the time when I'm like riding my horse through a field or I'm climbing, like a
Yeah.
shrine or I'm fighting some dudes, like it just looks great, like fantastic. What you would expect, because the
It
first
does.
one did too.
I have been playing the game, and I think every time I'm looking anywhere, I'm kind of flabbergasted by how beautiful it is. Like I'm playing on a base PS5. The first things that ever came out is the one I'm playing on, and it runs beautifully. It looks beautiful. It's really stunning. It is a crazy looking game, and Tsushima was as well. And the way that they like frame everything is always so cinematic, and that's what always impressed me was that you have this open world game where you can go anywhere, and they still manage to make every little thing feel so cinematic. And the music I think is really good this time around as well. I think the music last
Yeah.
time was good, but this is really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Really
kind of
good.
they mix
I
in
bet.
almost like a Western feel on
Yeah,
some of the stuff.
It's kind of like Kill Bill
Yeah,
vibe.
Oh,
like
going
okay.
almost
on,
like a
too.
spaghetti Western sometimes.
Yeah.
Like it's very cool. It's got a real vibe.
Yeah.
It's got
I
a
wonder
real
if that's
vibe
from
for
some
sure.
of the Kurosawa influences and stuff too,
Makes
It's
sense.
really good. Yeah. And the draw distance is not something I've ever paid attention to. But in this game, you're standing on a mountain and you can see everything crispy, clear in the distance. And you can look at something, they give you a little spyglass thing that you can use, and you, even without using that, you can very clearly see in the distance like things that you want to go towards. It's
Yeah.
really phenomenal.
Yeah, that's a cool
I'm blown
mechanic.
away.
The spyglass is because you
Do-
can get
Yeah.
like any high spot. This kind of works like Zelda, where you get to any high spot and then you just start looking around, marking stuff, and it marks it on your map for you in kind of like a grayed out version. And then you can set your waypoint to it. It does that wind thing where you follow the wind
Yeah.
instead of like having a big arrow or a yellow line or something. And then your horse also, you can follow like paths that are, what do you call them, flower paths, I guess. And he
Yeah, to go
flies.
faster.
This is the fastest fucking horse I ever seen in my life. He hooks, and then you can upgrade him too. He goes even faster.
Yeah,
A turbocharger on your
Horse
horse.
upgrades.
I think
I didn't know that was in there.
Yeah, yeah.
I've played like maybe 3 or 4 hours,
Yeah.
and they definitely in the early sections, they definitely have the open world formula right, where it's like I go, I want to go here, and I would stumble upon 3 or 4 things on my way to get there. Like,
Yes.
oh, it's a bandit. Oh, it's a cave. Oh, it's a shrine. I'm like, what was I doing again? I was like trying to go like find this bounty guy, and I've like just got lost. And I think that's, I do think a lot of open world games, the first areas are always like that to kind of get you hooked. So if
Yeah.
that's throughout the game, they've done a really good job on.
Well, they got to change it
open
up
world
throughout the
formula.
game too. I think that's important,
Yeah.
right? Is it if you're just doing the
Yeah.
same 4 things for the next 40 hours, that gets real repetitive. So it's hard to say
Yeah.
early on. But right now, I'm
Well,
doing
yeah.
shrines. I'm like petting wolves. I'm doing all sorts of different stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm still in the opening area. I
Have
think
you-
I got
have
to like
you
some autumn
played-
area.
Like cleared some watchtowers as well, because I've only done one of them, but that was like seemed pretty unique for.
Yeah, so no, I haven't done like the bases. I did one base and it was like a story beat. Like there was like the big bad guy like had a cutscene
I haven't done
after
any story beats at all.
after I cleared
I've done
this
nothing in
base,
6 hours.
there was a story beat. So I was like, because that drives me crazy. Like Assassin's Creed is famous for that. There's like all these like forts everywhere. You're just clearing forts over and over and over again, and it just gets old. So far, there's a lot of variety. Story so far,
well, yeah, I
super
expected
compelling.
I expected kind of like a fort. I need to do some other ones, but it definitely didn't feel like it was going to be repeated. Like it was quite a unique boss at this tower that I went to that wasn't a story beat. It was just kind of I spotted a tower with the looking glass. I was like, oh, I'll go check that out. I'm assuming this is like a base to clear. Then it was kind of like a little mini story there. And I was like, oh,
That's
I
cool.
wonder if they're all like this with like unique bosses and stuff. It was like a boss
I don't know
with,
if
like,
I've
mechanics,
been
I
to where
guess.
you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not been there. The first thing
So-
I did is I went and got the dual swords.
Yes.
Dual
I
blades.
got
I
the
went
big
got those
Adochi
right
too.
away.
The Adochi is fun as
I
well.
don't have the Odachi. I've only gotten so what I did the dual blades, and then I saw that there was a place that you could go for like the childhood memory things, which then gives
Yes.
you a new shamisen song. And then I did a bunch of like fox stuff. Oh, and then I found the duels.
The duels
I
are
found the duels.
the duels
and I
are
was
still
like,
good.
"Ooh, I'm gonna go do some duels because
Yeah.
they're incredible. And then I climbed Mount Yotei, and that is phenomenal. Like visually, that is crazy. It's a crazy
Best snow I've
experience.
ever seen. Do you think, Watts? Best snow? I mean,
Yeah,
the way it glistens in the sunlight, like most realistic snow I think I've ever seen.
it's
Dude.
it's really
know about
something.
that.
It's really
Wow.
I'm just every time I'm looking at this game,
Hater
I'm
over
like,
there.
I don't know what to
Fran the
say.
hater.
Like it's
You're telling me that this is better than 1080 snowboarding on the N64 snow? I highly
beautiful.
doubt it.
I forgot
live in
about that
Michigan.
game,
I
Fran.
don't-
I apologize.
Yeah.
That had some
I don't-
good, like you were like, wow, this is the future, baby.
Oh, there's
That's
other
right.
things that you
In
can find, by the
240p.
way, before I forget.
The what?
There's like people that you can come across that will tell you about something. And like it's very possible that you don't come across this person and they'll tell you about a thing that you can do to go like get a new charm or get a new
Yeah.
weapon thing, or like they'll tell you stuff that's going on, and it's really jam packed.
That was a major weakness of the first game, I thought, was that like all the
Mm.
people that you meet along your travels were like real basic and like that guy
Yeah.
stole my plate. Can you go retrieve it for me? Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, this one, so there's a little bit of that, right? But there's also like in-depth conversations about like the main story that you just randomly
Yep.
come across. There are like side quests, like kind of involved side quests. The duels now have an overarching story. So there's like
They do, yeah.
this new character that is kind of like a mysterious character that is kind of following you to the duels and like telling you about them. It's just the main story. I'm hoping that it just goes someplace else because it's a really standard revenge kind of thing right now.
Yeah.
There's room for them to expand the story. Like you still don't know a lot about what happened, so there's definitely room for them to like kind of go sideways a little bit with it. But
Yeah.
man, this is the most Assassin's Creed story.
So far.
It's like
Yeah, I mean, you're
there's
only
7
6 hours
guys
in
and
it.
we got to take them out one by one.
Well, Tsushima, I actually ended up enjoying that story and did feel quite emotionally connected at the end. And people have said that the writing for this game is way better. So
Mm.
I'm looking forward to doing some main story plots and getting into it.
Yeah. So just
Have you
to
guys
maybe...
found the gambling yet?
No, I
Gamba?
just got to the
That's
area
Gamba.
where it said gambling den this way, and I was like,
I
I'm gonna go.
saw
Myelin
some
ran
people to
towards
go
it, I guess.
homeless. I was taking their money, and it's cool. I don't know if you want to just want me to tell you how it works, or you want to experience yourself.
Well, it's
but
like-
I want to
It's
experience it,
it's
but if
a
you do, I'll...
Japanese gambling game. So
Ah.
yeah,
okay.
you flick coins, and it uses the pressure of the controller with how hard you flick it, and you gotta like
Oh, that's cool.
you gotta flick the coins to hit other coins, and you gotta get more coins than your opponent. And there's like cups and stuff on the table, and you can't let the coins go off or touch too many other coins. And I was rolling these fools. I walked out there jingling with all the coins that I had.
This game, man, Sucker Punch was like, hey, did y'all forget how cool the PlayStation 5 controller was? Because we didn't, and we're gonna remind you.
Yes,
Because you're
I'm so
constantly
glad you
using
brought
it. Like
that up.
you're at a forge, like banging it up and down like it's a hammer.
Oh, really?
You're frying fish, and you're trying to like maneuver the fish
Well,
like
not only
closer to
that,
the
Briar,
fire.
you're
Oh, that's cool.
flinting to get sparks.
Yes,
on
that's right.
the-
Oh,
And then
dope.
you're blowing to make the fire start, and then
Yeah.
you're cooking the food.
I love that.
They
Yeah.
go crazy with that, and it's all really fun. I love it.
During
I
the
love it all.
cutscenes, they love to make it feel like it's like got bass that goes along with the music, so it's like the vibration is synced with the
Yeah.
music like perfectly, which adds some cool effects. You kind of forget about it after a while, because we're weird apes,
Yeah.
But like the
Your
first like
brain
hour, you're
shuts
like
it off.
constantly like, whoa, this is really cool.
That's awesome. I actually love that they're doing that. I mean, a PlayStation Studio, like that should be top priority, and you should have money in the budget for it. But it's a good point that we just don't always get it. Some
Yeah.
people don't like that. So I think it's especially, it just feels like console DNA and tradition with that stuff. Like that's why Astrobot all around had all of it going on with that, and I loved
Sure.
it. So
It's
yeah, I'm
also
looking
the
forward to that.
they do the same thing of like when you're walking around, you can really feel everything in the controller, which is always really nice. And then there's something they do with the map, which is also I noticed and really enjoyed. When it's raining in the game, there'll be
Mm.
little raindrops
Yeah,
on your
the
map,
map.
every so often, which
I
is
haven't
such a
seen that.
cool detail. It's so cool. And then like you'll find the way that your map works, you've got like different hints will come up about I've got like for example one where I can go get kunai. I've got ones for like main bosses. I've got stuff for like memories and getting new shamisen songs, and you can kind of go through all of them and look at what you've collected so far. It's really cool.
Did you guys get the
Really
pocket
like it.
sand weapon yet?
It's sad.
It's
No,
literally pocket sand.
I've been getting butt ass
Quite
naked
literally.
You
and
just
petting foxes.
you just like reach in your
Naked, huh?
pocket and you go,
Oh yeah, that's butt.
and like everybody's like, ah, my eyes. And man, it's the most fun.
Man,
You're getting all the
Fucking
stuff.
sand.
I'm pretty sold on that. Butts and controller feedback together.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Mhm.
I would say I
but-
downgraded butts since the first game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like
This
in
is
the
more of, like, the
quality of butts,
character.
or
Dude,
You
had
like
a nice
Jin's
butt.
butt
What can I
more is
say?
what you're saying.
Jin's butt was
It
solid.
was really
9
musculature
out of 10, I'd say.
of Jin's
Okay.
butt. Hey, man, let's get that in the comments if you're playing Ghost of Yotei on YouTube or if you're here in chat.
Yeah.
But
Whose butt
rate
is
the
better?
butt quality between Tsushima and Yotei if you're playing.
the ideal
you
butt
prefer?
basically looks like an 11-pound ham. It's kind of like the
I
standard.
didn't know that was the rating.
Yeah.
Dang, I gotta do some comparisons. I did want to ask, like, I heard a lot because I haven't played it yet. And TV, you have not played it
I haven't, no.
either. Okay, so Watts, Myelin, Briar. So wrap up for me though. Of like what I'm hearing is like, oh, it's more of everything. It's more beautiful. The details there. The story not sure about, but it's nice. It's very Assassin's Creed still. But like, sell me on. Does it just feel like, oh, it's more Tsushima, it's great, or like, oh man, the gameplay, the moment to moment feels better or not, and that's okay if it's the same.
I don't know yet because I don't have all the
yeah, I don't
weapons
know
yet,
yet.
so I'm not doing all the weapon switching. In Ghost, in Tsushima, it was like switching the stances, and
Yeah.
that felt really cool. Like once you got good at it, it felt really cool. Like you're switching your stance in between individual enemies depending on how they were attacking you. In this, like I haven't gotten used to the button, even the button sequence where you get a whole
button.
triangle, and like sometimes it's circle to switch to the Yodochi, sometimes it's like R1, sometimes it's L2, so it's like a weird button sequence that I haven't gotten used to yet. So I can't say yet. I'm too early.
Yeah, I think for me, same thing. Yeah, with the action. I think
Sure.
first of all, I think Tsushima's action was like really, really good, and improving on that might be a little tricky. You do have the wolf now, which is an extra thing that you can upgrade. But yeah, I don't only have 2 weapons. I don't have any
too early.
of like the tools at all. I've not a single tool. But the
That
game
makes
definitely
sense to me
feels
now.
like if you liked Tsushima, Yotei has more open world stuff for you to do. It's more varied. The things that they've added, like the details that they've added, are really good, and the game is just even more beautiful than it
Yeah.
was.
I
with
did
others.
up the difficulty level like right away because it on like default it felt pretty. I was burning through things without having to like think about the combat. at
Tsushima
all.
was super easy if you were on default. Yeah.
You read
I was
you read my mind. I was gonna ask about difficulty of like I like to play on the hard mode, and then there was like the hardest
Lethal.
mode.
Yeah,
What was the hardest mode called? Do you remember?
lethal.
Lethal. And I'd love playing on hard modes, but I didn't like lethal because that seemed like something to do after I would finish the game because it changed the like you would just die or kill an enemy immediately versus have fun with all the abilities, which I loved. So I was wondering, is this the same thing with the difficulties? In other
Lethal was
words,
added later, but it's in the game now right away. So you've got casual, easy, normal, hard, lethal.
okay, so meaning it's very likely though that lethal changes the gameplay again. I'm sure it's the same, right?
All I know is that you die in one hit
Yeah,
for
it's
lethal.
this. It's probably the same. So that's what if you've never played a Ghost game, or as maybe a reminder, I think have fun with the abilities is like one of the best things. And coming off of the point you just made, it's like, well, once you get in, you got to get into it till you have a bunch of stuff. But I enjoyed that moment to moment when I was like throwing a smoke bomb, and I was trying to remember all the different stuff I had now, like bombs, smoke bombs, etc. But I would play with like everything, change all my bows. But if I tried to play on lethal, like I love the difficulty, but then it was just like very like samurai realistic, and I was like, I'm either dead or they're immediately dead, and I can't mess around with these awesome abilities.
Hard feels really good. Hard feels like
Yeah,
it's in a
that's what I
really good
liked.
spot. Like if I miss a like 2 or 3 move parry in a row, I'm dead.
Yeah.
So it's still like you gotta still be on top of it, but you have that little bit of leeway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
normal it's like if you miss that 3 or 4 move, you got like still have half health. Like you can do that
Yeah,
a
that's
couple
crazy.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, I think hard feels really good. I think
Yeah.
it feels like it's in a good spot.
Yeah, I think I'm
Cool.
on whatever the default is when you start, and it felt pretty forgiving. But then when I was exploring, like I did come across this mob that killed me like 5 times, and
Was
it
it
was
a
like,
bear?
The bears
oh,
are
and I died to a
nasty.
bear too. The bear
Oh,
killed
and a
me.
bear. The
And a bear
bear's
killed
like
me.
terrible.
But it
Bears are
was just this
nasty.
random side quest that had like 2 people with guns that would one tap you, and if you didn't dodge when you heard the yell, you'd get shot by this guy with a gun. You're like, that's it, I'm chopping your head off as soon as so sprinting towards the dude with the
It is
gun.
very
Like, why
nice
you
of
keep
them to yell before they shoot, so you can just perfectly
yeah,
time your roll.
It's this game's dosho. Yep.
yeah.
Thank you
Dosho.
so much, Mr. Archer, Mr. Rifleman.
But yeah, I can't wait to play more. Very excited to play more. Loving it so far. Everything is it's everything. It's like when the small details of like when you kill someone, well, you don't kill them. You get them to the point where they're on their knees like begging for their life. And you go to kind of interrogate them, and it's got their picture, but then within their picture it's got the different things you're interrogating them on, and it's all so well done that it's really impressive. Oh, I also put on Watanabe mode to have the Nujabe's music. It's really good. I took it off because I put it on right away when I was exploring the very beginning of the game, and I was like, it feels like a bit wrong to be listening to this right now. But the music that they've done for it is really, really good music.
Cool.
It's the lo-fi beats, but they've made new music, and it's got like Ghost of Yotei
Lo-fi
songs,
beats
but
you
they're
can behead
like,
to.
yeah, it's lo-fi beats. But if you are
that's dope.
planning on using it at all, they only play it when you're exploring. When there's like a story moment or you're in combat, it uses the actual like music that's supposed to be
Oh, that's
there.
kind of cool.
So yeah, if you're just riding around, you have that music, and that's nice.
Oh, that might be nice. You just turn it on when you want.
Yeah, just turn it on whenever you want. Same with all the other modes. You can just turn them on,
Yeah,
turn them on
cool.
and off.
Is
I
that
want to try the other one where it zooms in closer when you're in combat, and it's like
Mm.
extra bloody. I want to see what that one
Oh
looks
yeah, I
like
gotta
too.
check that out too.
Yeah, I
That
need to
sounds
check it out.
fun.
Yeah, take pictures.
I did have to mess with the camera settings a lot. Like it felt so slow, like spinning the camera around.
Oh really?
oh the
Yeah.
I
sensitivity?
didn't change
Yeah.
anything.
And like I'm not real positive how the lock-on system works. It explains it to you at the beginning
There
of
is
the
no
game.
lock on.
Yeah,
is
but
there?
it's like no, but it's telling you that you can hit R3 to like select your target. But it seems like you just point at whoever you want to start slicing.
I
That's
usually
my
just
understanding.
stand there. I just stand there and parry whoever's there, and then press the attack button.
Yeah.
Oh, there is a
Good
lock
time.
on. Oh, apparently there's a lock on.
It-
I
yeah,
never
it
played with
explains
lock
it to
on
you.
in Tsushima ever. Did Tsushima have a lock? Because
Maybe
it seemed
I
like
don't
it was
remember.
directional.
so. I haven't played it obviously, but is it
Tsushima.
maybe you know how when you're fighting an enemy, it sort of puts you in the fight with them. But
Yeah.
maybe if there's other characters around, you can use R3 at that moment to like switch or something. I don't know. Like
Yeah, it's not
maybe
super
it's
obvious.
only in those moments. Oh,
It's not super obvious how it's working. Even during
you
the
don't need it, dude.
yeah, you
just
kind of don't. Watts is kind of right.
freestyle,
You just
baby.
kind of stand there and
Yeah.
I just stand there
Parry,
and hit the parry button and then
yeah.
press square.
if they flash orange, then you gotta like hit the circle button instead.
Yeah.
True.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, folks were asking in chat, based on what you've played so far, do you feel like it would potentially be in the Game of the Year category, even with the way that it's shaping up?
Yeah.
I personally would say so. Yeah. I would say so.
Yeah, I mean,
Obviously, there's
solid.
I'm
there's
only
a
6
lot where
hours
they
in.
could do good or bad, but I think the game is really, really impressive as an experience. That you're the like you there's an experience when you're playing this game. It
Mm.
feels yeah, it's really pretty special when it comes to the visuals and how they use everything together.
Yeah.
I
What
can't
kind
wait.
of investment time is it to? I obviously you haven't played it to completion, but did they say, "Oh, expect like a 40-hour or something like that"? Did they give it a number?
Yeah, the golden path. There's always the how to beat numbers and such.
Time to
Sony
beat.
always seems to target about 40 hours, and all these open world games I feel like are, but
27
30
and a half hours
30,
main
40.
story, main and side, 39 completionist. Yeah, no, it's gonna be like 70.
yeah, for people like us, exactly,
Right.
easily.
Yeah.
Like I'm 80 hours plus the hard mode. People forget that too. Is like when you increase difficulty, it's not just that it's harder and you're losing, it's that they take more hits on everything. You might be like,
Yeah,
every fight
true.
is 50% longer, but it's 50%
Yeah.
That's right.
more fun. And that's why it's worth it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's a big part of it. My time is, well, it's just the way that I sort of like, I'll sit and stare at like a tree with the wind blowing on it and talk about it.
I'm
for,
gonna
like,
have 20 hours in photo
Yeah.
mode.
exactly.
come on now.
But
serious.
I do always forget that everything when you put hard mode on, I think it does add at least like 30% longer in playtime for any game.
Oh,
Oh,
Just
yeah,
sure.
the fights,
probably. I mean,
they
just
just
simple
take
math.
longer.
They
Yeah.
take
Yeah,
longer,
you can't
yeah,
just
and
like
that's if you never
blast
fail.
through. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's not like you're losing. It's just they have more health and stuff. So
yeah. It takes more time. You just got to be more careful.
Yeah.
You got to use the parry more instead of just attacking constantly.
yeah.
I think that's really what makes it more fun. Is like you just have to be more tactical and put more thought into each encounter. Than
Yeah.
in normal
Yeah.
mode, you really can just swing away.
Yeah.
well,
It's good though.
Check
So
it out.
far,
It came
so
out
good.
today.
I got more
So
to
far,
talk
so
about
good.
next week, I'm sure.
nice.
Yeah.
Good.
I am
it
really
literally
curious how
just
the
came out
story's gonna
today,
go.
so
Yeah, I'm really curious how
we
the
don't have a
story's
lot
going to
of
go.
info.
I'm hoping that it's going to take some twists and turns because it really does feel like a pretty standard revenge kind of story.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see it, kind of
Yeah.
make some moves.
Well, it's that time of the show. I think you guys tell me, but man, I would love to hear about what's going on in the Destiny world because
Mhm.
seems like there's a lot going on. We got TV.
I
we
don't
got
know,
Blizzard. What
Fran.
do you
There's
think?
nobody
Should
to tell us
It's
anymore. All the content
TrueVanguard
creators
on
quit.
On-
Where's TV in the show?
True.
Well, it felt like such like a bungee cord whiplash week, didn't it? Because we had
Yeah,
like
it
the
did.
epic raid, and people had low expectations, and then all I was seeing on Epic Raid Day online was like, "Oh my gosh, Bungie's done it again!"
Yeah, that's
New
all I saw, too.
mechanics and hype in the community,
Right.
and it felt like, oh my gosh, okay, all right, they're getting their juices back. And then it was like the next day, it was like, I'm never playing this game again, and taking my
Quick
community
turnaround.
elsewhere. Yeah, and it was just like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Some serious whiplash there, but. I mean, so noteworthy folks. We've got people like Grenadier Jake saying, "I think I'm done," which I mean, he's like,
He's just done.
the sun rises in the east, a bear poops in the woods, and Grenadier Jake plays Trials of Osiris. It's like these are just, Jesus loves all the little children. It's just one of those
Yeah.
things that happens, and it's no
Jake
longer
is in
happening.
an interesting spot. It's
Can't
it's
Yeah.
a
believe you
big
played it for
deal
so long.
because he plays like TV said, like he plays sun, rain, or shine. He is there in Trials of Osiris no matter what. But
Yeah.
he did move to France
Correct.
And so doing his normal stream times, he's like missing all of the social stuff because it's right when it would happen. So he's like, it kind of sucks, and I don't need to play Trials every week. So he's kind of just taking streams as they come until Renegades
Yeah,
happens.
that's right.
He's just gonna go enjoy life, and if he feels like streaming, he'll stream. But no
Oh, he's
pressure.
not gonna like switch to a different game or something.
No, I think he's just, and he kind of talked about that in his vid. He's like, I've been
Mhm.
so fortunate that like my whole thing was strike while the iron is hot, and the iron was hot for a really long time, which means
Yep.
I have the financial freedom right now to just say no, thank you, and
That's
be
great.
okay, which is obviously it's a wonderful position to be in.
Yeah.
So very happy for
In
him
France.
that he has that kind of freedom. But beyond him, you also had people like Dado saying, I think I'm gonna just chill for now. You had Glad
Renegades,
pull
he said, yeah.
out. Yeah, so yeah, he's just gonna take 5. You had Glad pull out of the raid because he
He
was originally
did.
gonna be on his raid team, doing that the epic raid, and he said, "Nah, I think I'm gonna say no thanks as well," which again, pretty big deal for him. And of course, he had a pretty lengthy post as well when he announced that. So if you were interested in seeing his reasonings why, you could read through that. And then I think one that could lead us into an interesting discussion was then Bife, saying similar things. But for him, he was really exploring the question. He posted, it was like an hour and a half video. But he was really just kind of breaking down like, well, what happened to get us to this point, and some of it for sure is on Bungie's shoulders, and he kind of pointed plenty of faults out there. But he also echoed a sentiment that I had when I started distancing myself too, was just that the community vibes were different, and that toxicity seems to be more prevalent, and the rise of social media has just made that a little bit more accessible. Like you see more of it, you experience more of it, even if it's not necessarily worse than it was originally back when the D2 and D1 communities were thriving. It's just that the culture has shifted a bit, and social media has changed so much over these years that we've been involved in Destiny. So the community vibes are a big thing. It's a big factor for a lot of content creators specifically who that's their primary social interaction when they're working. So anyways, I think that the community has played a part in that to some degree, certainly not their fault entirely, but anyways, it's just led to a lot of interesting discussions in the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that it seemed to be just like you said. It was like, well, the upper grade was happening, and then all of a sudden there was, I think it was a combination of like, yeah, Glad. My sense was like Glad just was feeling pressure to do it, and then he realizes like, I'm just gonna say I'm not gonna do this. I don't want to. Why am I doing this? And like, I get that because like it's his job, and it's I know he does like the game when it's good, but I think there was some doors that opened. In other words, and we can relate when you hear that from your fellow content creators with similar wisdom and thoughts. You're like, you know what? They're right. And I think that has caused I don't know where the door first opened, to be clear. I don't know if it really was Glad or honestly just the Ash and Iron update and the way that some of that stuff was. But I think that, yeah, I'm not totally surprised because we've seen this a little bit in the past too, because I think we probably saw, I don't know, it wasn't exactly the same, right? But after Final Shape, we saw a lot of similar, there's just nothing here for me right now. And I think they're feeling the same thing a year later. They thought maybe, well, Edge of Fate might be a renewal, but we're sort of just in the same spot of like, it is just kind of the same cycle of things, with even fewer staff members, and less content, I think.
And like when content is lean, one of the things that helps carry the weight and make up for that is the community vibes. I think back to when even D1 was winding down and things were we had some serious content droughts for a while where just nothing was happening in the game. We still had the community vibes to fall back on, weekly streams and charity events and conventions and meet and greets. And that felt like it kept the community vibrant and strong, even if the game wasn't in a really strong position at the time. And for me, specifically when it came to D2, as a PvP content creator primarily, we obviously, we know for a fact, Bungie basically stopped PvP development almost entirely for years, and they just didn't give us a heads up,
Yeah.
which kind of sucked. That's one thing that I point to is like that was kind of a bum move on their part. I'm just being entirely honest. Like they set an expectation for years about, okay, this is how we do it. When new content drops happen, when new expansions hit and new DLCs hit, PvP is part of that. You get new maps and modes and loot and ritual weapons and all that stuff is part of that. And then suddenly they just turned off that spigot entirely, and they just kept saying the same things. They would pair it back to us like PvP is a big part of what makes Destiny happen. PvP is still very important to us. We will continue to develop PvP. Expect things coming, and then it was just sandbox updates for years. So that was definitely feels bad as a PvP content creator. But we, like I said, always had the community vibes to fall back on. And as a creator, you have to try and find creative ways of keeping your community involved. And I thought, okay, well, maybe we do stuff like, I don't know if you remember, I hosted like a PvP tournament, the whole Play My Way tournament, which I thought would be super fun to do until the PvP community specifically. It was actually the more PvE side that was like, this will be really fun. I would love to watch this and get involved and whatnot. But the PvP community went full blown toxicity. We had like nights where our Discord for that tournament would get bombed with just racist streams and derogatory, just like copy paste. It's just like thousands of messages blowing up in the Discord, and you can't even moderate and keep up with it.
Yeah.
We had people who were really prominent members of the PvP side of things that I tried to, like, as an olive branch, I was like, I think that your side of the community has a lot to offer. I would love for you guys to be a part of this and show people what you can do. Like, show the PvE community what really talented PvPers can do. And I thought that it would be good for that side of the community as well to have that visibility. And we had a lot of these hyper competitive clans commit and say, yes, we will do this. Here's our team. And then they were just trolling us. So on tournament day, they pulled out with no notice at all. They just didn't show up for their time slots. I found out later it was intentional sabotage.
Jeez.
And so we had to scramble, me and my team, like on the fly while we're live with sponsors, with everything.
Jeez.
To cover for it. And I got to the point where I was like, they don't even, I don't know. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. And so when some of those guys later, you find out, we all remember some of those days where it's like, oh my gosh, on Twitter in the morning, oh my gosh, this person got banned and they've never done anything wrong. And then they're reaching out to people in the community, like, TrueVanguard, speak up for this person, talk to Bungie and get them unbanned. I'm like, hell freaking no. You can kiss my... I know exactly who they are. I know what they're about, and I have no interest in standing up for them.
Yep.
Anyways, that was a big part of why I completely lost. Like, I started streaming less, uploading more. So it's like the VOD stuff is just me in my office, talking to people I care about, playing with people I care about, and making videos was more enjoyable than trying to be a part of that community anymore. So twofold.
Yeah.
You got the Bungie side, but you got the community side. And I think both of them play a part.
Well, we saw this happen when Milo joined Destiny. And he was having a really good time playing Destiny because he's brand new. And hey, if you come into this game and you're brand new, you got a lot of content. And Destiny is a very good game. So he's coming in having a good time, and a lot of the community will immediately jump on you and say, how dare you say such good things about the game and Bungie. And he was saying, like, it's getting to the point where I don't want to stream or be a part of this community because the community is the way it is.
Yeah.
And a similar thing happened with Datto. He was like, Gothalion put out a tweet that was basically saying how long until Datto doesn't play Destiny anymore, and then he responded with, "Don't worry, the community will make it soon."
Yeah.
So it's definitely a thing that we have seen, and this is obviously not saying that everyone in the Dest community is like a terrible person,
Right.
but it's a thing of like I
the
noticed it when
loudest.
I was streaming Destiny. It's people just bickering in chat about I like the game. Well, I don't like the game. And it's just a constant stream of like complaining and arguing about stuff.
Yeah.
And then there are some like really awful people who are a part of the Destiny community that have done terrible things to lots of different people, whether they're content creators or just regular people.
I'm right here,
Um,
Watts.
it's real bad. Really, really bad. Like put people in danger of their life bad.
That's
So
absurd.
yeah, a lot, of course, if you're playing a game and you're like, well, all that happens is people argue and complain. I'm not enjoying the game at the moment. And when I upload and say something good, people yell at me. When I upload and say something bad, people yell at me. And then people are also like being super toxic to me. You're like, what am I here for?
That's
So,
right.
Yeah, it's really
I mean, yeah,
unfortunate.
that's literally why I left. And I mean, I was lucky enough to be put in a meme amongst the greats like Dado and that. I don't know if you saw. Someone sent me a meme. It was like gravestones, and it was like Dado.
You were in there.
Hey,
Yeah,
you
and
made it.
it was from what's that cartoon? I'll find it. Yeah, and that was the thing. It's a weird, the fanaticism of like some Destiny players is I think what kills it, especially going from like I played Destiny, I played Warframe, and I think both live services, both loot and shooters, and like they're just so polar opposites in how the developer acts and how the community acts between them. And it's interesting to kind of think about like what comes, like it's the chicken or the egg, you know. I don't think Bungie is like free of blame here at all. And I think
Yeah.
when the game is not in its best spot and Bungie has not done a good job at communicating, that provides an environment where toxicity can like really grow easily.
Yep.
And if you think about something like Warframe, they have weekly or it's monthly, but then also like they do a couple different things. I think it's weekly, 15-minute stream from like the CEO, from the main creative director. They just get on and it's so funny. They cut it off mid sentence at 15 minutes. And just talk about the stuff they've been doing, and people tune in and everyone's having a good time, and they just say, "Yeah, I've been working on this," and it's very transparent, it's very open. And I think that is, you know, for Warframe is something that's cultivated a really, really strong community, and a community where people feel okay to leave and come back. Whereas I
Yeah.
find sometimes with Destiny, it's like it is all or nothing. And I think that's
Mhm.
where creators are at the moment, being pushed away. And I think it's for everyone taking a break, I think they're going to discover that is like, I can't do Destiny and other stuff because the people consuming the Destiny content can be really negative towards any other kind of content. They downvote it, they dislike it, they leave negative comments, they go out of their way to cause issue with sponsors and that kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, the views are there with Destiny, but it might be time to break free of that and just say to people like, it's time to move on. And that's literally what I had to do. Like on my channel, I said, listen, there's going to be no more Destiny on this channel ever. Let's just have a handshake and say thanks for the good times. Like I'm moving on. Don't remain subscribed to the channel unless you want to see variety content. And it'd be interesting to. I know a lot of the content creators like Dado and even Grenade Jake have not committed yet. They're saying I'll be back at Renegades kind of deal. But I don't think. I don't know if content creators can coexist like Destiny as a variety channel. And maybe the only person that's kind of done that would be As to Cross, but he still has mainly covers Destiny, and he's just got enough kind of reach to snowball other videos to you know perform, right? But name another Destiny content creator that's doing Destiny and variety, or did Destiny
actively
and
doing
something
both,
else.
Yeah.
You know, you have people that fully leave it, like Mr. Fruit started in Destiny, now it's, you know, it's completely full variety, but for
It was a
whatever
battle
reason,
for
that
him, though.
ecosystem,
Like it
It
took
was a
him
big
long
battle, yeah.
time to do
Yeah.
that. A lot of work.
and it's a double-edged sword. It's like this is the double-edged sword of content creation. It's actually what I spoke about in one of my last videos. It's like you want obsessive people to watch your videos because you want them clicking on a video as soon as it goes live. You want them leaving a like. You want them leaving a comment. So like the success of a channel is often built on people that, you know, are really, really into that game.
Right.
And that's kind of how you get your start. And then if you leave that, then, you know, they're not necessarily going to come with you. And that's what everyone's got to deal with if they leave their main game that made them popular. But it's also comes with it like a lot of negativity about covering other stuff and like, oh, are you still doing Destiny? You're not doing Destiny. I don't like this game. This game's not for me. Extraction shooters suck. You no good.
Yeah.
I got to be honest though. Like I have noticed that there is just a general like acceptance of people behaving badly. It's just it seems to be more acceptable than it was 5-10 years ago, right? Like,
I
and
think
it just
so. Yeah.
it goes.
Yeah.
It's not in every community, but it goes much wider than just in the Destiny community. I was watching the Ryder Cup this weekend, which is a golf tournament. It's the U.S. versus America, and it's golf, right? What do you expect during golf? You expect plate clapping. You expect white shoes. You expect funny hats.
Yeah, I saw some.
There were American fans just behaving so badly, it made me want to root for the European team. That there was one point where the fans were throwing drinks at one of the European players' wives. Like, how is that? How is that acceptable behavior?
People have lost
at a golf tournament.
At a golf
we were
tournament,
so cooked.
Yeah, like.
Yeah,
Come
people
on.
have lost it, man. They really
like
have.
online. Like I mean, Twitter. The turnaround on Twitter has become, it's legendary. Like I mean, they'll write books about the turnaround of Twitter. Like how quickly that turned from a moderated community to, well, it's still a moderated community. It just flipped who they're moderating, I guess. But it's like I mean, the discourse in America, at least right now, is extremely toxic, and I think it's more
Volatile.
than America. This is a fight that's going on worldwide.
I in general, I think everything is kind of polarizing, and doesn't matter if it's games or sports or whatever. It's just kind of like you either love this thing that we're doing or you hate it and you're kind of against us. And that's kind of what I feel like.
We've got all these algorithms that
in.
are like designed to throw that into your face because
That's right.
Yeah.
That's where they're going to get the most engagement. That's where they get the most visceral reactions from everybody, and that just further polarizes everybody.
Yeah,
I think the Destiny community was
Destiny
community. I think at the beginning was kind of self-moderating, right? It's like, there was a lot of streaming, and you just weren't allowed to hang out in the streams if you were an asshole. Like you just weren't. Like, people were kicking you out, and it got to a point where it was so hard to moderate the streams because like it just bigger and bigger portions of the population were more and more negative. And it just got to the point where it was just hard to even like have a conversation about Destiny in a stream. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good read. I was thinking that whole time you guys were talking, I'm like, well, if you're gonna sign up for live service stuff, I think across the board, it's just like inevitably when you're trying to, get this many hours out of gamers and a community every week and month. Versus like whatever Tsushima, where it's like, well, we're only expecting you to play this for like 60 hours or whatever.
Yeah,
it's a huge difference in what you're developing. And so my first thought was like, well, yeah, of course it's gonna happen. Bungie should know they've been through this many times, so nobody should be surprised. And creators should know when you cover these types of games, right? I was thinking about Diablo, and you mentioned some other ones. It's like, did we just go up and down this roller coaster of like, I am trying to play something for like 20 to 40 hours a week every week, some of these people like, yeah, but you make a good point for sure. Is I think just the internet discussion has eroded because of what the internet is and what cultures become around it. It's a really good point that it's affecting all these different communities and cultures in different ways, but it's all eroded. Like you just have a discussion, like, cause I've always struggled with this as like a reviewer. And it really like it weighs on me thinking about it. It's like that's who I am, is the gray area where I'm like, I don't know, Skull and Bones is like, it's not Skull and Bones, right? It's not what I wanted. Everybody wanted Black Flag, and I'm out here playing it on stream, and like people just coming in, this game's absolute ass. I'm like, explain to me why it's absolute ass, because I'm like, it's so in the middle. And like, if you want to play a game where you just like PvP ship battles with like these really nice looking waves, and I'm like, it's fine. But they can't have a decent discussion about it. It's one or the other. It's my favorite game.
Mediocrity does exist.
Yes.
What Fran didn't know is just the World of Warships developers were just in his chat shitting all over it.
No,
Like, how dare you make a ship-to-ship combat game?
And Anthem's the one, of course, I always bring up. But that's just another example of like, why can't we just say this game's like it's okay, and here's why it's okay, and these are the things I wish it had, and you make an informed decision. But yeah, we're so like, no, I think Briar's laughing. He's like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. You're not gonna find a nuanced discussion, with people.
You can't. Yeah.
But that's what's so unfortunate. There's so many games that we talked about it maybe even last week, where it was like I was talking about how Ghost of Tsushima or Yotei was getting those 80 to 85 Metacritic type scores, and I was like, well, yeah, but that it could be just an amazing game for some people, and like these games tend to fall on that. But in other words, why do we even have to explain to you that it is still potentially an amazing game? It is potentially an amazing game at that score, but like we're in a situation where you like have to explain to people to think about 80s because it's not a 90s or masterful game. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, let's get back to where like, yeah, I played this game and it was okay. It was like a 60. And yeah, I paid 50, 60 bucks for it. Like, that's just what games are. Some movies you see, they're all the same price. Some I hated it. Some I love, but it's a movie. Like, in other words, you can check the reviews and like, but there is a middle ground of like, yeah, I like some things about it. Anyway. But yeah, we're so far, like, I can't even, with Destiny, like, I can't parse any of that anymore because only with what I play is my impressions. But I used to be able to look, I think, more at what the community was saying and get a little bit more of the vibe. But yeah, I think at this point, I'm like, I didn't really know anymore. Like, I hear a ton of people, for example, like, the portal is the problem. It's the worst thing ever. And I'm like, is that, it may be, by the way, but I'm like, is that the issue? It's the portal? I'm like, I think there's just not that many new fun things to do. And then they have these bugs and, they just don't have enough content. If there was a banger new thing to do, I don't think people would be complaining about the portal, but
Well,
I could
people
be
were saying
way off
that
about it.
the content is the power grind, is what people have been saying. Like, that is the content.
yeah.
Is for you to level up. And
So it's the
people
lack
are like,
of,
I don't want to do that.
yeah. So the real issue is the lack of content, isn't it? And that, in other words, that's where I love to hear from people when they're like, oh man, I really wish Edge of Fate and Ash of Iron had these things versus this is awful. The portal sucks. I hate this game. Because it's hard to figure out, like, well, what is it that you want?
Hard, yeah.
And it's the same when they're like, Destiny 3 is the only solution. And by the way, I would urge you in the comments or chat right now, I always ask
Please
this. And
do.
it's not meant to be a jab. It's explain to me what you want Destiny 3 to be from a gameplay loop that makes it different than Destiny 2. Because I hear everybody talk about it. And the first thing they'll say is like, I want a new engine. Okay.
I
You
want
want better
Predator.
graphics.
I want Predators to show up.
Yeah, yeah. But even then, if you say you want a new engine, so you want better graphics, I'm like,
I
okay,
don't
well,
know
what
what
is it?
that means.
What exactly? What is it you're trying to fix? And for some people that are tuned in, they'll be like, well, faster development time. I'm like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. But again, what I would love to hear is like, oh, Into the Light was an amazing release because the activity onslaught was so fun for these reasons. And anyway, I'm not trying to talk down because I'm not qualified to even tell you what should be
Feel
in
like you're
Destiny
talking
3
down,
anymore.
man.
I don't think, but point is, I love to hear from people about what are the details of the things you want to play. That's what's productive. But when you just say the portal's absolutely trash, the power grind's trash, I mean, you're right, but therefore what? So
Yeah.
that's all
I
I'm
want
saying. Just give me
dongs that
some
hit
more
the
to chew
ground
on.
like
Well, I
Conan
think
Age
for a
of
lot of
Exile.
I think a lot of
Walking
people who
around.
were talking about this, there's nothing Destiny can do that would make them happy, but they just haven't like fully cut off and moved on yet. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what I
you could be
agree with.
sick of a game, like even a good one.
Yeah,
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what the
Just
real
sick of
issue
it.
is?
That's okay.
After 10
Do
years,
you know what the
could just be sick
real
of it.
issue is? I reckon this would solve overnight the real issues of Destiny.
Thanos snap.
If-
You're right. I agree. Kill
Thanos
half of
snap.
them.
Some of the raids and story content has disappeared from Destiny 2. Oh wait, we got that actually.
We already
did
did that,
happen.
Briar.
If Destiny had actual true competition, not a third-person shooter, but a first-person loot and shooter with the same MMO light stuff, because what would happen is people who don't like Destiny would move on. And what you'd be left with is people who still like Destiny. And I feel like some of the toxicity in Destiny is because it doesn't actually, like, after going back and playing all these other loot and shooters, it still doesn't have any real proper competition when it comes to first-person loot and shooter MMO light. You know, like raids, dungeons, endgame content like that. Even having the PvP aspects to it, even though they're well and truly dead now. Like if you think about when Destiny was in its prime, like there still hasn't been something to truly contend with, and
Challenge it,
people to
yeah.
have a home where they can go and, if they're not happy with Destiny, they can go and use another service. And I think if they did have that, the people that are unhappy would move on, and the people that would still happy would stay there, and you would have like a smaller community that was just a bit happier.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and
I don't know if you'll ever get competition because I don't know that it was ever an actual good business model.
That's my thing too. I wonder, but like, how many other developers are chomping at the bit to have that pace that Bungie had to have for a decade? Like, I don't think
but it's still, like,
anybody's. I don't think
has anyone
anybody's
gone
like,
for
yeah,
a
we want to do
decade?
that.
Like, it's still a good innings. You know what I mean? Like, despite all the issues, like going for 10 years is pretty solid.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, but I would argue it was not a very easy journey for Bungie, and they
No,
had
I don't
a
think so.
ton of challenges along the way.
That is exactly, yeah. Like those are the two things I was thinking about, which was why I was reflecting on some of that so deeply there. But it's like, one, what do we think is the next step, the way out? Is it like, what is that? And then the second thing was, we don't really have to talk about, but it's like, what is Bungie? Is it really just if Marathon and Destiny Rising like co-profit doesn't save them from a revenue perspective? Like, what, are they just screwed, or do they need to
Like,
develop
yeah.
a third franchise, which they were trying, but do they need to, like, whatever,
I
campaign
often
games?
think about, and actually, interesting, I was talking to other game companies about this, and hopefully I'll get an interview with them. But I was talking about the process of, how do you take a large volume of community feedback? How do you sort out loud minorities? How do you sort out content creators that might be like perpetuating something that could be accurate or couldn't be accurate? How do you gather all the information? How do you gather all your data? And how do you do something that is actually what the community wants? And I feel like that's where a lot of Bungie's missteps are, is like, we're listening, but the outcome never kind of matches, right? And I wouldn't want that job, because it's super hard, because sometimes I think people, A, don't know what they actually want, B, they're not very good at describing what they want, and C, they're parroting someone else's opinion. And like, it is incredibly complex social behavior to work it out. And I'm kind of getting to the point in video games where I'm just want to go to a company, just do what you think is right. You made Destiny in the beginning. No one was telling you how to do it then. Like, I need to give you some freedom of making the right choices. And if it's not the right choice, then I'll stop playing, and I'll come back when you make the right choice. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the solution is, but I do predict that Renegades, even if it's fun and good, Renegades, like the campaign in the first weeks, let's just say it's all, this is a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun. I love the gear. I just think it's going to fall out immediately and crash out because of the amount of content. You're just going to fall right back to, it's still just Destiny. You're asking them to play it as much as they used to in the past, but you just don't have that amount of content.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they would never do this, but I really feel like you have to release it and tell them, like, hey, it's just this. We're not going to do this. We don't expect you to play every week. We're changing our model until, we can sort of revamp, and they're kind of kicking you out of the club. They're kicking you out of the gambling casino because you're miserable. You won't get out on your own, but you're mad because we don't have enough new stuff for you. And so again, that's not a good value proposition, but I almost feel like they're setting this expectation that, hey, this release, it's different. We've really heard. Yeah, we've listened. We hear you.
There's
but like, how are you gonna suddenly, like, oh, here it is, all this new stuff for you? No way.
There's nothing
It's
they
so
can
hard to
do
do.
that's ever going to satisfy all the Destiny fans who have ever gotten mad at Destiny, because Destiny has been, 20 things over the course of its life that it no longer is. And like, people fell in love with one or several of those things, right? That it just never is going to be again. How many times have you seen bring back Sparrow Racing? Like, I fell in love with
SRM.
Sparrow Racing. That was my favorite. Bring back Trials of Cyrus the way it used to be. Bring back, there's like 100 things that it used to be that it never will be again, and you're never going to satisfy those people who that's why they fell in love with Destiny. It's tough. It's just a tough position to be in.
Yeah. Everyone fell in love with it for a different reason.
Yeah.
But again, I think it's a rock and a hard place for them, as I often bring up, because you get into the financials. You signed up for this, and I mean, they created it to a point, but this live service model, yeah, it was this rocket ship of money and players, 100 million new players, and everybody wanted a piece of it, right? And that it was that, 14 years ago or whatever it was, 11 years ago. Wow. But, the point is it was that, but now we're stuck in that grind, and meaning they're chained to it. You can't do anything like I was talking about because they're like, but we have to pay all these people. We're burning through. So I assume they're burning through a lot of money every month trying to just support these releases that require you to play all this time every week versus, again, what I'd love to hear is like, you know what? After Renegades, we hear you. We're taking a full year. We're going to focus on a big new release.
Bringing back Sparrow
It's
Racing.
not Destiny 3, but like we're going to make sure we really focus up, and like we'll have, something in the middle, that's like another dungeon, and something small maybe, but you get my point. That will never happen. So they're chasing their own tail. It's a pretty difficult situation to get out of without a bunch more money.
It is tough, man. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Also, if you fell in love with the community, if that's really what you loved about Destiny, that's definitely never coming back. There's no amount of money that buys that back.
I don't know. I think Myelin was Myelin saying on her TV, but if you get a lot of the toxicity that they decide to move on, that you are left maybe with the people who actually like being there. I think that possibility is easily still there.
Lots.
Yep.
You have been playing the new Monster Hunter Final Fantasy 14 tie-in. It's not DLC. What is it? It's a game.
It's a collab. Basically it's a free update where they added a whole new monster, which is like they basically added a raid.
Which
from
one is
Final
Final
Fantasy
Fantasy 14?
The online one. The
it's
MMO.
the MMO. Okay.
This guy, it's called his name's Omega. I think he first showed up in Final Fantasy 5 though, I believe. So this monster's from Monster Boss. I don't know. He's a robot.
He's like a spider robot,
he's a
right?
robot
That shoots
spider.
flames and
Wait,
energy.
you
and
fight a
stuff,
robot
probably.
in Monster
He's
Hunter?
a robot.
Really?
He's a robot. Yep. So the collab brings with it three new weapons, 2 new armor sets with brand new skills on it. It also brings Chocobo. You can get yourself a Chocobo, and then when you hop on your Sacred, it plays the Chocobo music, which is very fun.
That's adorable.
Yep. There's a lot of emotes and all that other stuff. So it's called Omega. Omega Planetus.
Omega.
And they brought 2 versions because in Final Fantasy 14 they have something called a Savage Raid, which is like a hard version of the raid. So they brought Omega Planetus, and then they brought Savage Omega as well.
Oh my.
Yeah.
As if the name Omega wasn't intimidating enough.
I spent 6 hours fighting Savage Omega and killed him 3 times.
Whoa.
Oh, dang. That's not a lot.
Not a lot. It's really, really hard. So what he's a spider robot, but the way that they've designed it, because obviously in like Final Fantasy MMOs, you have the healer, you have the tank, you have the DPS, and you're like people are taking tank roles, and then they're taking the tank away from them, and they have all of that in Monster Hunter. So obviously, if you can dodge everything perfectly and your whole team is dodging everything great or guarding it, then you don't need a healer. But realistically, that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah,
so
were you doing this as a team?
Not on comms, but with the.
But you were in
community.
a group. Okay.
Yeah. So you generally you can have someone healing who has like Wide Ranger, Mushroom Mancer or something, or everyone can just bring Dust of Life and things to make Dust of Life and just spam it as much as you can. So there's a mechanic where if you hit his head, you'll gain the enmity, which is his aggro. So he'll do all of his abilities on that person, and then the rest of you are kind of free to do damage and also keep your tank alive. He has multiple different phases. There's one phase where he spawns a Nursilla, which is the spider that's in Monster Hunter, and you have to kill her in a very short time frame to spawn a bubble to stop this like super attack that Omega does that will kill all of you. If you don't kill Nursilla, it's a hard DPS check. You're dead. You're done. That's it. If you do not kill her, it's all over. And then
Omega
you go to
is
another
the
phase.
four-legged robot looking thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you're showing
Yep.
it, Briar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So they's dropping bombs everywhere, mustard gas, lasers, and there's a section where he's like laser, mustard gas, bomb, laser. It's just relentless, non-stop. Just it's yeah. So regular Omega took me a little bit to get the first clear, but Savage Omega is like a whole other thing. They've got extra moves on it. They have an extra phase, different music too, because he starts
neat.
in the second phase of the regular one, and then it goes to like more phases. Um,
Is it always
and
in the same
yeah.
arena? Whose arena was
it
this?
is. This is Jin Dahad. So
yeah,
the kind
Jin
of the
Dahad's
lore
arena.
of this of Omega is that he will hunt the thing that's like the most powerful and consume it to become more powerful. And in this area, Jin Dahad is that. So you do have a story intro. You have two characters from Final Fantasy 14 come into Monster Hunter and tell you about Omega and the threat that he is, and are giving you hints and tips and how to defeat him. And then there's a whole cutscene of you seeing him, and then there's another cutscene for Savage Omega where he has found Jin Dahad. Jin Dahad is dead, and he's like consumed it.
Do you
Yeah.
ever see the two of them duke it out?
Yes, at the first cutscene you
Oh,
see
really?
them. The first cutscene they fight, and then Jin
Okay, but
Dahad
not-
runs away.
Okay, but not like in actual
No.
gameplay they never clash.
Not like a Final
No.
Fantasy
Jin Dahad is on the floor
16
trying to
monster.
not
Right?
die. That's what he's doing.
He hit the
It's-
flow.
Yep. Next thing you
Jin
know.
Dahad.
It's really, really hard, but it's been so fun because I'm like thinking about the build that I want to bring. I'm like, do I want to bring stuff to help with the team? Do I want to bring something that helps with my defense?
Yeah.
What kind of people do we want? Okay, you have the big shield. Okay, you're going to take the tanking. And there is another mechanic where if you get hit by this one ability, it keeps chipping away at your max health. And while you have aggro, you will never recover that
Ugh.
missing health. So you'd
Oh,
have
no.
to trade aggro to get your health back full.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's like a full kind of raid thing going on. It's really, really cool, and they've done an incredible job with it. It's
Yeah, I
really
mean-
What kind of gear do you get off of him?
so he has a this is another thing. So he has a great sword, which is the first thing you get from killing Omega, and it gives you Dark Knight from Final Fantasy 14 skills. So you have some stuff from that Dark
Oh.
Knight class in the great
So-
sword, an extra
Okay.
thing that you can use. Yeah,
It was funny
mhm.
because I was like a little out of it first. I was like, wait, they have Batman in Final Fantasy?
Yeah, the
Dark
armor
Knight.
is called Bale armor, and it does look like Batman.
Oh, he does, but it actually is
look like
called Dark
Batman.
Knight. Or no?
Dark Knight is the class in Final Fantasy.
Oh, it is, but
14.
he kind
Yeah.
of looks like Batmanish too. And that's
Yep.
even more confusing. Awesome.
You get a sword and shield, and then an insect
Oh my
blade that
God.
have like completely unique abilities on them. And then the armor does completely different things too. So the basic armor will give you access to like one of the Dark Knight skills, and then the Savage one has a whole mechanic of like if you're within, it switches between two modes. The armor that you're wearing, where local residents, I know it sounds like Destiny. Local residents, you want people to be close to you, and you get extra crit. And then you have the bubble gets bigger, and then you want people to be far away from you, so you get more attacks. And it's switching between that throughout the whole fight on the
Interesting.
armor that you're wearing. And then also they added kind of Pictomancer, which is another class in Final Fantasy 14. Basically, on your Monster Hunter hotbar, there's a button that you can press where you do magic. You draw things in the air, and it sends like Moogle balls at them. It's got like an air attack, and then a Mog of the Ages beam as well. So the free update. It's crazy. There's so much in it, and the fight is really fun. And
Nice.
yeah, it's been a blast playing with people and screaming and I'm healing. Take aggro. Oh, he's baby raging. You gotta run. It's been a good time.
Yeah, I mean, people
Really
wanted
fun.
harder content. It sounds like they got it. What's the next most difficult thing you can do right now in Monster Hunter?
It would be the stuff that they added before this update, which is the 9-star monsters to farm
Oh.
talismans.
Oh, so any
those-
of
those monsters
nine-star
are hard.
monsters.
Any of the 9-star, yeah, they're pretty hard. Like people, if they're coming back to the game, they're like, yeah, okay, these monsters are pretty hard. And
Nice.
one of those monsters, they added an underwater combat section. So
Oh,
And all
nice.
of that is free. All of that stuff is free.
Cool.
Yeah, so we have another update coming, like a big update with a new monster in December, but between then we've got harder versions of monsters coming, and they keep adding like new talismans and stuff like that. So it's yeah, this is definitely, it's gotten a lot harder a lot faster than previous Monster Hunters.
Yeah.
This is
But that's
Time
what's
Update
nice is
3. Yeah.
you can do this if you want. I mean, this monster is only what difficulty, by the way? Like just one difficult or two difficulties, you said? Omega,
yeah,
that is.
yeah.
In other words, is it like 9-star and above only kind of
It's-
thing, or?
He's 9-star. He's 9-star Omega, and then Savage Omega is technically like a tempered Omega.
Right.
But he's like still 9-star. He's just
Gotcha.
really.
But in other words, like
hard.
for I believe almost all the other monsters, if not all of them, it's like, well, you can play them on easier if you want. So it's not like you're limited.
You just don't
in
get the
difficulty.
talismans.
Right.
Yeah, you have to do 9 stars to get the talismans.
Yeah. But in other words, it's nice that they added difficulty if you want it. It's not like the whole game got rebalanced in a way that it's like, oh, it
No,
was too
not at
easy at
all.
launch and now it's like it's way too hard. Like, no, like play it how you
No.
want.
They just expanded like the upper end, so there's more stuff to do, more stuff to work towards, for unlocking and farming and all of that.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you're interested, if you haven't played in a long time and you're like, oh, I actually really want to play Omega. Omega, you have to be HR 41. And then for Savage Omega, you have to be HR 100. Hunter rank. Yeah. Really good,
What-
though. Man, crazy.
What are the next known big updates? And if you know of any rumored updates, but
The next big one would be, the big one will be in December, where they're adding Gogmazios, which is an Elder Dragon. He was
that's
in
right, you
Monster Hunter
mentioned.
4. He was a siege monster. He's a huge, like, lava, crazy monster. So I'm really excited about that, because there's a lot of people who started with World that have no idea about him. There's currently no Elder Dragons in the game, so he will be the first one, and he's a pretty crazy one.
Cool.
I might have to check that one out. And then I'll try to use my charge blade and be like, oh boy, this was a mistake. Why did I choose this weapon? I have no
What
memory.
have I done?
No memory of what to do. All I remember is pressing 2 buttons at once all the time.
Nice.
I think your mic
I'm
must have gotten bumped, Myelin.
Yeah, Mom, your volume went up.
I
Right?
was gonna say,
Am I-
I was like, oh,
Did his volume go
uh-oh.
up like by 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The volume went
double.
up, and it's also going.
Did you connect to a baud modem in between?
Have you
those
dusted your
checks?
microphone lately?
Yeah, blow it out.
Is it overheating?
Nothing has
sound
changed
fine
on my
now.
end. Is it
You
right
sound fine.
now?
That sounds
Interesting.
better,
Maybe
yeah.
it was a Discord or
It
you know
might
what's
have been a
funny?
Discord thing.
I'm like laughing and almost empathizing maybe with what Myon's going through right there. He's like, oh Christ, what is broken
Not
now? Like,
again.
I know. I
you're
just
like,
think-
it's
Something's
like-
broken because I'm hearing a lot of crackling.
No, I hear crackling too. I hear.
Yeah, I
crackling.
hear
You
it too.
crackling
I think
too?
it's Discord.
it's probably just
Yeah.
Discord.
Discord might
Aussie
be the
Actually,
stuff.
it's
problem.
Fran, and he needs to fix it. It's all
Yeah.
breaking.
Fran
That-
tried to move the paper
Don't say
me.
it's Fran. No, Fran, we're kidding.
What
Put
it
it
is?
down, Fran. Put it down.
It looks okay.
I missed. Have you done the Silent Hill F discussions? I think you did that last week. Did you?
So we did do it last week, and I finished the first playthrough last week, and I do want to talk about it a little bit this week, because I have a lot more. I think there's a lot more to say post finishing
Right.
one ending. Yeah. You want me to
Well,
go? You
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, I'm close. I'm close to finishing, but I don't think I don't think it's just gonna line up with me actually finishing it. And I've
It's
got
hard. There's so
the
many games.
PC broke. I lost 2 days, and then now we're just kind like I got a baby coming in 2 weeks. Like I'm
Yeah.
flat out.
Can you tell her to
Yeah.
Can
wait?
you hear me okay?
What's that? Tell them what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, I came a bit earlier. It would be better for game releases, to be honest. But
yeah.
I've enjoyed my time with it. Like, I think yeah, I'm there for the story. There's been a lot of jump scares. I've been a big scaredy cat a lot of the
You see
time.
Myelin sitting here like this.
Yeah,
He's
this turtle mode.
full
As chat
turtle.
says, full turtle mode.
Fully, yeah, full turtle.
It's
Great.
adorable.
I
It is.
it's been a while since I've played kind of like survival horror, but I think it's nothing out of the ordinary for the genre. Do you know what I mean? Like, I saw people
Yeah.
complaining about the combat. I was like, what do you expect? Like, it's kind of survival horror. You're not meant to be like bunny hopping and like peeking, like,
Yeah.
peeking around corners.
Can't
shooting
slide
AKs. It's
180
like,
no scope.
yeah. It'd be interesting if I played more Resident Evil and was familiar with that, like puzzle wise. But I would say like the strength from what I've played is the story and like unraveling that story, and you kind of want to see where that goes.
Was it as
Um,
heavy as they pitched it would be?
Myelin is
Ma-
right.
I
at
think
the
they'll
part
probably
where it's about to do a
is
lot of
it?
the really heavy stuff. Although there was definitely cutscene that you've seen that was bad.
Yeah.
The
I wouldn't say it
fox
was like
farm.
super heavy. I think obviously like the themes are heavy, but like it hasn't been super bad yet. But it's everyone's different, right? It depends on like, what
Yeah,
trauma
yeah.
you've got in your life, really, and how you're gonna respond to this kind of stuff. And obviously gonna be different for me as well. So I think they probably went not overboard with the warnings, but like, they're the themes of the game to do with like abuse
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah, I'm very close to the end of my second playthrough. And this game 100%, if you finish one playthrough, you have not finished the game. Like you haven't seen probably, I don't know, it's hard to say, 40% of the story, maybe more.
How's that work,
Right, so
Watts?
changes
Is that
going back
is that
through.
because they actually like hold that stuff back from you? You can't possibly see it in the first one, or is it
Correct.
like you're just taking a different path? You could have seen it,
No.
but you would have missed something else. Okay.
No, so the first playthrough is like you're locked into a specific thing and it kind of sets up something with one of the themes that's going on with the game. And then you start the game over again and things are different right away. There's different buildings you can go into, there's different voice lines, different cutscenes, there's different ways that things play out, there's different notes, there's different lore stuff. So there's one of the themes is like drug use, say in the first playthrough. I'm not going to go into like super spoilers, but like there's a lot of
sounds
drug
fun.
stuff
So
going
there's some
on.
lighthearted stuff in this game.
There's some like drug stuff going on. And then in the second playthrough, it was a lot of the commentary about like the different gods and like how this is a super old secluded village and how they used to worship this god and then it switched to this god and you've got like that turmoil of the gods going on. And things
We
are
get
very
different
different.
playthroughs because I feel like my first playthrough was the God one.
No, you probably just
Okay.
didn't pick up all the notes.
Right.
Also, you're not at
Because-
the end. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
That would be a
there's
skill issue.
and then and then there's different ones that I really do want to experience that, but they go into like marriage and what that means in 1960s Japan to get married and turn into that and maybe lose yourself. So yeah, it's super different. And I was really happy that it was really different because I don't generally play games over if it's just going to be a different ending.
Yeah.
If there's just a different ending, it's like whatever, I can just watch it on YouTube. But this
That's
is
right.
like so different right out the gate. Like the very first cutscene, the parents are saying different stuff. It's completely different. The book is different. The journal that you're reading, like it's all different right away. And I walked into a completely different building when as soon as I left the house, I was in a different building. So it's really, really impressive. And it's really cool because you do get this like slow unraveling throughout the multiple playthroughs. And it's interesting as well psychologically where you're like, wait, is that different? Wait, did they say that before? And I'm like, wait,
Sure.
that looks weird. Did it look like that before? Because it kind of like gets you in her mindset. Yeah, I am in love with this game and I definitely I will be revisiting it. Hopefully for like Halloween, around Halloween time might be really nice to do
Yeah.
the rest of the playthroughs. Because I can get 2 endings like really quickly. And then there's one more that I would really like to get.
Is the playthrough any faster the
Mhm.
second and third time through?
Yes. Yeah, it's faster. There's like some areas that you don't need to do. There's also some weapons that you get that make the whole encounters with all the monsters way faster and easier. Yeah. So it definitely goes way faster. Even though I'm like still combing through everything to find the new documents because I'm so invested in the story and the documents are where I'm gonna get like a lot of that information. So I'm still combing through, but it's definitely faster. There's a whole for Myelin who's played it or anyone who has played it, there's a whole section of the rituals that doesn't happen.
Oh,
You're still but you don't go through the rituals. So that whole section, that's a huge, long freaking section.
with the fox.
Mm.
Okay, that's like 50% of the game.
it's a big. You got like
It's a
winding
big chunk. Maybe not 50%.
corridors.
It's a big
It's
chunk.
a big chunk. It's a
Because
big
they're
chunk.
puzzle. They're very puzzle heavy. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I'd get much value of redoing them.
Yeah, I think they've done
Yeah.
it I think they've done it in a very, very, very good way. Like I've never felt like, oh my god, I gotta do this again. It's been really cool. Oh, and some of the puzzles do change. Like her house that you're about to do is completely different. Second playthrough, the puzzle's totally different, and
Oh,
it changes every ending
Right.
apparently.
we got to talk about the Xbox price change.
Oh, we gotta talk
Game
about it.
Pass.
I got an email, by the way. I just want to say, before you go into the details of, I got an email today saying Xbox Game Pass just got better or something like that.
Yeah,
It
That's-
did.
I mean
but
it's more expensive. That's better for them.
I saw it pop up and I was like, what?
Do you own
Huh?
shares of Xbox Game Pass? Because it's definitely better now. Fran, you did a
Yeah.
little research here. Can you explain what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I think most people know that Xbox Game Pass got more expensive this week, and there's multiple versions and tiers of Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
But I think basically there was a huge like, I'm canceling, it's over, because really, day one, as I'm interpreting it, but that's where most of the value was for folks, was like day one releases, Black Ops and Outer Worlds 2, Ninja Gaiden 4 is coming up, and that now goes from being $19.99 to $29.99. So $20 to $30 price increase.
Or
going from-
$120 a year more than it was.
Or and this is the monthly price. There is, I'm sure there's an annual price, and I haven't looked at it. But
Yeah.
roughly it went up 50%.
That's a lot.
And so because of that, it's just like, it's a number you don't really see attached to the subscriptions, I think, as well. So I think that it's partially that, but it's also just like, as I simply put it, I'm like, $1 trillion corporation buying $1 billion companies, raising the price of anything. You're just never going to have anybody be like, okay, cool. Yeah, good change. Especially like in an economy where I'm like, eggs and chicken are freaking expensive. Yeah, my healthcare sucks. Like, any change, $1.99 or $9.99, you're screwed to try to communicate that. So that's
I
the day
disagree a
one.
little bit. I think, like the Netflix model of we're just going to raise it by $2 every 2 years, at least.
Frog in boiling water.
Yeah. Like at least you like let people acclimate to it. When you have a 50% price jump without
It is pretty crazy. Yeah.
right after you just also raise the price of the Xbox hardware itself, and people are uncertain of the future of the
Yeah, dude.
Xbox in general. Like, I think it's an extremely crazy move. Like a small, I agree. A small price increase would have been bad, but a 50%
Yeah,
price increase
is
is
like a punch
galling.
to the face.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
didn't you hear
'cause-
Watts? It's better than ever.
Better than
You got an
ever.
email about it. It's way better. All those features, game anywhere, cloud anywhere, download anywhere. Like, what are the?
You know,
do you get a reward point
There's
system?
a Fortnite thing. And
Yeah,
it's like,
you-
but what if you
Fortnite
don't
Pass.
want that?
Ubisoft
What if you don't
Plus.
want Ubisoft
Yes.
Plus? What if you don't want Fortnite? You're paying extra for
Yeah.
what you don't want.
So this
Well,
is where it does get. Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
Game Pass was a good deal because you could play so many games for like a relatively inexpensive
I mean,
price. When
it
it
is-
released, it was like $15 a month, right? For
but
Ultimate.
It is and can still be a good deal, but
Only if you
not-
play
it-
a
but-
shit ton of
Yeah.
games.
You gotta
Because
play a lot of games.
or
Yeah,
if
you
you're
wanna
playing
use
like
it
3
month by
games,
month.
4 games a year, you're definitely not getting the value. You're better off buying the games, and then you get to
that's the
keep them
sticky-
if you stop
yeah.
paying for subscription.
Yeah, but my point is not to defend it there. But if you're, let's say you're getting Ultimate for 30
seems
bucks,
like you're an Xbox defender.
but Call of Duty Black Ops is
You're an
like
ex-boy.
$70.
I knew it.
No, I'm not at all. I'm just
an
what I'm trying to
Xbox.
cut, as usual, right? We talked about. I'm just trying to cut through. It's really what it comes down to. You got to really think your scenarios and not just have a pass subscription turn on, which is frankly just an economy we've all become used to. And like it's palatable in a number of situations for $9.99. You're like, well, I got DoorDash Plus or whatever it is. I'm like, yeah, I guess it nets out because I get a couple free
I
to loot.
agree.
Like you can
And
reasonably.
you only need to, and you know you got your value as long as you played like
Yeah.
a couple of AAAs. You're like,
Yeah.
I know I've got my value out of it. Whereas now it's like I'm doing the math on it, and the math ain't mathing.
But
Right? It's like I just don't think I'm
But
gonna
it
play
was
enough
also
games to work
it was
the
incredibly
value.
fun to have this whole list of games that you would never have played if they weren't free, like included with that service. Like there was some, I can't remember the name of it, like some downhill biking game that was like
Yeah, Ubisoft
silly.
one maybe.
I can't remember what it was called, but it was like I would never would have tried it out. But I played it for 4 hours and I was like, that was fun. I'm moving on. You know,
but that's where. So, but see, that's where I'm trying to cut through. And again, I'm not saying it's valuable. You really need to look at the scenario. But that's my point. Is like you can for $15 get the premium one, but then you don't get to play Black Ops 7. So
Yeah.
that other scenario that I'm pointing to though is like that game's $70, right? And I think there's a couple other in-game features included even for 30. So you do save $40 if you're only playing it for only that month, and you don't forget to like cancel it immediately.
yeah.
So again, I'm not saying that I love what they've done. I'm just saying there can, at the ultimate level, like there could be. And if you're like, oh, then I'm gonna do that month, and then the next month I'm doing Outer Worlds 2, and like then I'm also playing Ninja Gaiden 4 and whatever. If that's you, the next 3 months that looks good. That's only $90 versus it's more.
Yeah.
That being
But I think
said,
the thing is like, you hearing you talk, it's like it now has to be something you really pay attention to get value. Whereas before I was thought you could almost ignore it and almost always get your value out of it each year. Whereas now it's like, I'm probably not going to be motivated to do that, so I'm probably just going to cancel it.
right?
Well,
And-
I would
and
argue it
that's-
was that way at $20 a month because they had an incredibly slow couple of years as far as first party releases go. Like,
yeah,
it's
I
been
mean, well,
that
that's
way.
the irony is I think people managed to, they did the Netflix thing where it was like a couple more bucks, and then it was like, Ben, we're also doing day one, but at this more premium ultimate tier, I think was always there. I forget if it was always named that, but for a while, yeah, to Mylin's point, you were like, yeah, like I think I'm using enough, and you might forget we're also in that economy. We were all used to like, yeah, I should have used DoorDash more. I screwed my economy, but it was only $10 and now I'm out. Whereas this one, now that it's $30 a month, if you make those mistakes, it doesn't feel like the right thing to do. But the point I was trying to make is if you want day one, and this is where I just want to throw this out, it's really interesting as well. The $30, you should look at all the other stuff that's in there. I mean, it's not that like you may not find value. There's even like you get rewards for playing, and you might get a $100 gift card or something, and like all this stuff. Cloud gaming as well, right? At certain resolutions, and like, but that's where it's like, are you using any of that? Like, I don't use any of that. And here's what's really interesting. Okay, they raised the price of PC Game Pass, which includes day one, but it doesn't have like all these other cloud features and a bunch of so that is going from $12 if you have a PC, I think $12 to $16.49. So still a big hike, but it includes day one. And I ask you this simple question: why is there not a console version of that? I don't want any of the other stuff. Just for $16.50, why? If you're gonna do day one on PC, why don't just let me have a console exclusive version of that? Why are you trying to make me pay $30
we
for all
have
this other
to
stuff?
somehow pay for Activision.
I mean, maybe that and more, maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, there's a $1 trillion company. So, but either way, wouldn't you
that
agree
$1 trillion is already set aside for AI?
So, it is, yeah. It's
Xbox doesn't get any of that.
But I do like their their communication of like, it's crazy when you look at the differences and you try to figure stuff out. It's confusing.
How
Like,
long do you think it's going to be
confusing.
before Microsoft pulls out of the Xbox like video game, the console. Do you
You
think we're
mean,
gonna
like,
get
we're-
another generation of Xboxes, or do you
Yeah,
think this is the last one? You think so?
definitely. Oh yeah. I mean, they're gonna fight for the ecosystem, and AI is part of that, like you said.
I
I mean, they want your Xbox / PC / handheld ecosystem, which all includes Copilot, GPT powered AI with it's all coming. That, yeah, for sure.
I think it's at the point where, first of all, you're gonna have to play a lot of games a year to get your money's worth out of it. And it's maybe at the point now where maybe it's better to pay the price of the game and own it and have that money go towards like the developers rather than like
Yeah.
a service that you then don't own the game.
Yeah. And that, as
I
you know, like,
concur.
worries me and bothers me already, this whole system. And Netflix has done this type of stuff too, but it's like, you might watch something from an indie or a middle of the road that you really like, but like they don't see like if you had just bought it and everybody had bought it, they might have done much better and been in business. You know, like I actually brought up Redfall as the example. Like live service meets Game Pass problems. Like we end up with like this super talented developer making like Redfall and then getting like shuttered basically.
Yeah.
That is why I just don't like Game Pass in the first place. Whether or not it's solely to blame, I don't know, but so yeah, it's crazy. $30 though if you want the day one model. So
$30, yeah. It could maybe be worth it if you have like a ton of games you want to play in that month and you just pay for a month and then immediately cancel it.
yeah,
But
Well,
then
that's
you
what
still
I
don't
said.
own it after a month, you know.
Was it the Xbox 360 generation when Microsoft was basically giving away free Xboxes if you subscribe to Xbox Live for 2 years? Is that right? Was that
I don't
Xbox
remember
360?
that.
You don't remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they would. I'm pretty sure it was Xbox 360. They'd give you a free Xbox. You know, it was like the arcade edition, which was like, you know, the cheapest version of Xbox 360. But you had to subscribe to 2 years of Xbox Live. Look how far we've come. Now you got to pay $800 for an Xbox, and it's $30 a month.
It is kind of insane to think about, isn't it? Just the cost of the console alone. It's like, holy cow, why am I not just buying a PC?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But that-
crazy. Getting ridiculous.
But yeah, I mean, again, I'm not defending any of it. It's just like the conversation is like, this is awful. You're trying to take my money. And like, I agree. But I do think if you look closely at it, and like Briar was saying, it'd be amazing for discovery. And like, if you play games a certain way, it may still work for you, but you have to be very careful now that, yeah, after a couple months, you could have, like, yeah, if you make the mistake, right, of I just, you know what, I'm going to be playing Call of Duty anyway. I'll get it. I'll keep it. It's still cheaper. And then like you keep it the second month. Now you're right on the edge of like, you should have just bought it, you know? And I think
Yeah.
that is what people are grappling with. It's clearer than ever of like, maybe I should just buy it. But I think it's exposing as well this elephant in the room of, you know, it's a deeper hardcore conversation, I think, but people always questioning like, is Game Pass profitable? Is Xbox making it? And they're like, yeah, it's profitable, you know? And but as Briar pointed out, it's like, wait, but whatever, did Call of Duty Black Ops cost $700 million to market and make, and then they bought them for billions of dollars? And is that profitable as a whole company of Xbox? You know, like I think they're having trouble with that for sure.
I feel like Xbox has been having trouble since the Xbox One came out. Like they've been on a downward slide for forever now. Like since the Don
After
Matrick,
Halo 2, honestly, it just all went.
well, the Don Matrick
downhill.
announcement with like TV, and like, you know, the games that are you can't
Oh, the
like,
Xbox
borrow
One.
games. The Xbox One, yeah.
Not
And
the
then, like,
first
Yeah.
one.
Phil Spencer has said it out loud, like, you know, they lost a critical generation when people started building digital libraries, and you know, it's very hard to switch
Yeah.
people out of an ecosystem now. So it's like Microsoft's got a real uphill battle. Like they're fighting Steam on the PC, they're fighting PlayStation on the console front. Like where does Xbox stand? The best thing they had going was the Game Pass. If that becomes unaffordable, Like, at what point does Microsoft just cut and run? Like, this isn't working. We're just pouring money into this. We've been pouring money into this since 2001, and we don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, I think they painted themselves in a corner again, though, and you know, I think it sounds defensive of the business, but it's like it's not that there's not the value. I'm telling you, it is there if you're looking and you know exactly what you're doing with it. It's still
There's
an amazing
less
value in so many
value than
ways.
there was 2 days ago.
Oh, absolutely. But where I'm going with this day one messaging, and I didn't get clear into this, my feeling is they really screwed themselves with day one, play everywhere, because after every trailer and every Game Pass message, they say play day one, play everywhere. And it's like that they didn't really even make the asterisks clear on that, but it was always predominantly just Ultimate. But the point is the whole idea of Game Pass, I think people have got attached to that Microsoft is giving you everything and day one included. And those price differences were so much closer, right? Whether it was, what was it, 13 and 20 bucks but now it's so clear to people that it's like the day one thing is very exclusive to the $30 price, unless you're on a PC. And that's what I think people are coming to grips with. But my point there is like Microsoft needs to own up and make it feel very clear that it is expensive, but there's a lot of value because you do get day one and all this other stuff, instead of like trying to communicate that Game Pass is, it's all amazing. You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah, but the people who want day one the most, right, are going to be the most hardcore gamers, right? Those are the guys that are going to want to play like game after game after game, month after month after month. Most willing to spend $30 a month to get like all the newest games right away. But are they going to accept playing on the least powerful console?
Wait, say that again. Are they going to
like you know, like you're marketing this for the least powerful console that also costs the most on the market, right?
Yeah, that's also a good point there from the console side. I mean, I don't think that least powerful. I think the ecosystem thing you pointed out is like, yeah, people are like, yeah, I don't know if I should buy an Xbox. So that's why they're
don't
moving
buy an
though,
Xbox right now. Do not buy an Xbox.
Yeah, but that's why they're trying to get you on the, hopefully, I think that's what they see, the ROG, Ally, Xbox. They're trying to make all this transition to what we were talking about, which is we think it's going to be like some kind of, you know, call it PC equivalent, but way easier, dumbed down, you know, high-powered console, but then you also have the handheld. It's all cloud attached. You can play 1440p gaming, and that's like the world they see, and they're trying to like bridge to. But yeah, in the meantime, they're setting you up for the fact that, like, you know, those services are expensive. Anyway, it is crazy. Yeah, I think it's really just a matter of people are going to have to acclimate. I know some people are like, oh, you know, Xbox is going to have to change this, but I just don't see how it's profitable for them, you know, without these changes, right? I doubt it.
Probably not.
For day one, I didn't say it as clear. They should have never included day one because it was so amazing. And I know it's a weird way to say it, but I think they've really confused people. That you see.
But that was like the main selling point.
Well, it didn't used to be. Meaning before the day one, Game Pass was like what, $9.99, which you, by the way, you needed to pay for the online service anyways, an Xbox console,
I'm sorry,
right?
Did it
even
not
get it
always
for
include game
$1.99.
one? The day one?
They didn't used to do day one.
There
Game
was
Pass.
It
Oh,
used
I
to
didn't
just
know.
be. I mean, it was, I forget the time period, but it was just the Game Pass.
It was it was fairly, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it was fairly recent that they started doing like everything is day one Game Pass.
Yeah. And they just created this image that it's,
Because I think that was the balance, right? It's like you have Game Pass if you want to play like all these games, but if you want to play a game day one, you have to buy it. But then they got rid of that. So then it's like, well, now no one's buying any games and it's literally just Game Pass. So they have to make that money up by probably increasing the price.
exactly, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's their problem. But I brought all that up because I'm like, I think they have a major messaging, and as we always see this with companies like Microsoft and especially Google, you know, and like anytime they try to like give you the whole ecosystem and all these tiers, and you also get, and then it becomes so confusing that yeah, it's very hard to see the value that is there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe more simply to your point, Briar, like people don't have faith that every month it's not like Call of Duty, Black Ops 7, Outer Worlds 2, Ninja Gaiden 4. It's not always one thing every month that you're sure is of that value, you know, and I think that's, you know, a major issue for them is that lack of like trust that it's always going to be happening. And then you even, oh, I had another good example here was the EA Play is included as part of like Ubisoft Plus is.
For how long? They
as
just got
part of-
bought by the Saudi.
Oh, well, that's a different discussion.
Yeah.
But it's part of
What is that,
Ultimate.
the Saudi government fund or whatever that is?
There's a
Investment
few
fund?
funds that were in there, but yeah, I think that's it. But the point was, you think, oh, EA Plays in there, so yeah, Battlefield 6, maybe that's part of it too. This is a good month. And then, no, there's a part. EA Play has the same thing going on, where if you don't have that premium, I mean, you don't get Battlefield 6 as part of Xbox Ultimate Game Pass. So it just becomes so confusing. You're like, wait, but I get EA Play, and you're like, yeah, but not that version of EA Play. You're just like, oh my god, dude, I'll just buy
You
it.
get the Madden 2007 version. EA Play.
Yeah, well, I looked it up. By the way, you do get $7 off currently if you have Ultimate, if you want to buy Battlefield 6
Oh, what a
as
deal!
part of Game Pass. It's just one of those, right? Where you're like, I don't know anymore, man. So you really got to make a plan, is the short of it, if you want to get value out of it,
Should we wrap this one
or
up?
get a PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to eat dinner and poor TV.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
TV
good. I
needs
just
get
needed to
some
kill
rest.
I just needed to kill the lights.
No
You can always sit in
worries.
the dark, maybe with a hoodie on.
Yeah.
Good idea. I'm gonna do that.
My
Some
wife actually
sunglasses.
my wife just handmade a headache pillow for me, like filled with like grain, so I can like microwave
Oh.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
and
amazing.
it's like all black, so it blacks out the light for me too.
Ooh,
Yeah,
That
she's a
sounds nice.
champ.
that sounds amazing.
Rough. Well, we hope you feel better, TV.
Yeah, me too.
Oh yeah,
right,
I
let's
got ahead of
wrap
it.
this
It's
one up.
okay.
Yep, let's do it.
Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next week. New episode of Retro
everyone.
Slot just hit. Just so you know.
Yay!
Mm.
Got him.
I'll reach out to that guy that asked about it in the whiskey line. I'll let him know.
All right, guys. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, bye.